Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 11th edition of TWitWoW Five Fave Fives. We have not done one of these since April. The original plan was to do one after Dominion, which was supposed to be in June, and then COVID happened and fucked everything up. So we ended up holding off until after Dominion, then Summerslam, then All Out. And we are finally, only just now, getting around to doing our third Five Fave Five of 2020. John, please tell me you're prepared for this.
Yeah, brother. I mean, it's my favorite commentary that we do. Especially, it's quite poetic that we just got done doing one of the worst things that we do in my mind, and that's cover AEW. This is an excellent palate cleanser. So, yeah, I am all ready for this. Let's do it.
I don't know why I wasn't expecting you to just immediately take a fucking pot shot.
Yeah, just being honest, you know, when it sucks to suck.
Oh my god! Wow, did you just quote an All Elite Wrestling performer to use as an insult to All Elite Wrestling?
Yeah, I'm next level like that. I know.
Wow, sir. All right. It looks like in chat we've got Paul, Sean, and Mark. Although Mark did say he wouldn't be able to be super active in chat. It's good to see the three of you so far. I'm sure more people will file in as we go, but we have got 25 wrestlers to talk about, at least. Well, really, it'll be 25 each, because that's actually another new thing that I wanted to kind of introduce while we were in the intro phase of this commentary, is we are no longer going to be kind of jumping each other. Like, there are a lot of instances where I'll be like, oh yeah, John, Konami is number 5 on my Stardom Fave 5. And he'll be like, well, she's number 1 for me, so fuck off. He doesn't actually say that, but in my mind, intrinsically, I'm just like thinking that to myself. But then I'll briefly talk about Konami, and then he'll go on his long diatribe at why he fucking loves her all at once, and then he won't have a number 1 left to talk about. We're done with that format. We're fuck that format. We're done with it. We are going to talk about each individual as we go. So if I say Konami's my number 5, I'll talk about her briefly, and then we will just move on. And when we get to number 1, then John will be like, she's my number 1, and here's why. And we'll do the whole thing. So we are no longer kind of skipping around. We're just going to straight up number 5, number 4. Well, it'll be 5 for me, then 5 for him, and then we'll switch on every other one. And then 4, and then 4, and then 3, 3, and then 2, 2, and then 1, 1. And of course, we're going to do honorable mentions before all that. But I hope that you're all looking forward to this new format, because there will be less skipping around, more comprehensive, I hope, and I'm looking forward to trying it out very much. John, how do you feel about it?
I feel great about it, man. I think it'll have a much nicer flow doing it this way going forward. And you know how I am. I just love kicking back and celebrating the wrestlers that make us not hate pro wrestling as an industry, given that it's given us plenty of reasons to over this period that we've had to wait in the midst of this pandemic. Yeah. So let's celebrate some fine-ass fucking people. Let's get this started.
Hell yeah, let's get right into our first Five Fave Five of the evening. That, of course, being main roster WWE. And this includes only Raw and Smackdown. We do have a separate category for NXT, which includes NXT, NXT UK, and now 205 Live as well, since 205 has kind of been integrated into NXT. But before we get to that, we do have main roster WWE to talk about. And John, I'm going to leave it up to you whether you go first or whether I go first.
You can go first on this one, friend.
All right, honorable mentions. There are a lot of them. I have more honorable mentions for WWE than I have for any other section in our Five Fave Fives, which is weird, and especially weird because I have so many honorable mentions for WWE that I had to stop using full names. I had to start using one of the people's 2 names. So, for example, I'll just start listing them. Big E, Ruby Riott, and instead of saying John Morrison, I ran out of room, so I had to just say Jomo. Naomi. Instead of saying Mustafa Ali, I had to just say Ali. Matt Riddle, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, Andrade, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, both members of the Iconics who are now broken up. Kevin Owens, Buddy Murphy, Zelina Vega, Jey Uso, and MVP. I just listed 17 honorable mentions, and I have a proper Fave 5 as well.
Awesome. I'm just going to go through my honorable mentions. Naomi, Matt Riddle, Big E, Cesaro, Nakamura, AJ Styles, Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Drew McIntyre, Keith Lee, Asuka, Sasha Banks, The Hurt Business, and Daniel Bryan.
Wow. You stunned me with 4 of the names that you just listed.
Yeah.
That they're not on your actual list is what stuns me.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit more stunning, I'm sure. But handing it back to you, who came in at number 5 on your actual list?
Well, coming in at number 5 for me is one of your honorable mentions, Keith Lee.
Yes, all right, talk about it.
Well, dude, here's the crazy thing. A month and a half ago, I filled out my 5 Fave Fives as a way to prepare so that I could just kind of go in and make edits here and there when every couple of weeks I would go in and be like, oh, move this person up, move this person down to honorable mention because this person's in, like that kind of stuff. And a month and a half ago, when I filled in my 5 Fave Fives, Keith Lee was number 3 on my NXT list. And ever since, he has debuted on the main roster and has been used relatively well, I would say, for the most part. But there have also been, obviously, 4 other people that I'm even more into, so I couldn't put him higher than 5. But still, I'm very excited for Keith Lee, and really, I'm more excited for him and the WWE allowing him to move up this 5 Fave 5 than I am for what he's done so far, because what he's done so far has been good, but I know he's capable of great, and I can't wait for him to prove that on the main roster.
Keith Lee's been absolutely phenomenal so far. I mean, hit a little bit of a snag with the Raw debut with Drew getting involved, but I think they made a strong recovery with Payback.
Yeah.
I think to me, it seems like they're still trying to figure Keith Lee out. And I think when they do, and hopefully they figure out what he's actually, really supposed to be, which I think they've got it like 95% of the way down, I'm going to be all in on him. I think he's definitely going to crack future 5 Fave Fives for me. I mean, I want this guy.
Yeah, this was one of the names that stunned me, that he was in your honorable mentions and not in your actual 5 Fave 5.
And I think it's just because, like, I respect Keith Lee. I want Keith Lee to succeed, much like Big E, who was also in my honorable mentions. But when I think fan, it's like, who are the people that I like really actively anticipate that make me smile the way Keith Lee makes Javaris smile? Oh. And Keith Lee he doesn't really do it for me, at least not yet. But I think when I can tell that he's going to really shatter that ceiling like he deserves to, I'll probably give him a nod. Because I even tweeted earlier that watching him and Big E's ascent, it's really something special, man. So, good shit.
Well, let's hear what your 5 is.
John Morrison.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it's one of those things where I didn't notice him on your honorable mentions, so I was like, okay, so he's gonna definitely be in the 5 list. But I was like, I feel like John's been lower on Jomo lately than he had been, and I was wondering if you would still have him at 1 just out of like tradition and like, I don't know, like the loyalty, or if he would move down and here he is all the way at the bottom of your list at 5. I think it's cool that he still made your list, though, honestly, because like even though he's really not being used well at all, it shows that you still just love this dude.
Well, dude, and you know what really crystallized it for me was this past Friday when I thought that they were going to, and I haven't completely given up hope. I've, like, again, using percentages, I've 90% given up hope. But when he posed with that Money in the Bank contract, I had the biggest pop, I think, to anything WWE related that I've had for a long time. And this is completely bearing in mind that there are three women by the name of Asuka, Sasha, and Bayley that have been fucking killing it. And like
2 of whom didn't even make your 5-5.
Yeah. So when he held up the briefcase, I'm just like, oh my God. Like I know if they would seriously push him or just have him do anything else, like I'd be all in on it. I would be just so into it. Really, this positioning is more about his booking and stuff, because I think we've even talked about before. It's cool to love somebody, but you want something to love with that person. Like if he was in a feud, if he was a babyface right now, say on Raw, and he was feuding with Randy Orton, who's like the top fucking heel right now, I think, I'd be like, yeah, that's awesome. But he's in a middling tag team doing nothing matches, and it just kind of sucks. I hope he does something with Otis in the briefcase. I wouldn't even mind if he beat him for the damn thing, of course, because I know where my priorities are. But yeah, just because of the booking, he's going to crack it, only because I know, like, I'm still all about him, and I still want good things for him. It's just he's not doing anything right now. Yeah. So, Who came in at number 4 for you?
Number 4 for me was another one of your honorable mentions, man. And I did, again, a month and a half ago, I had this person ranked much higher. I actually, at one point, had this person ranked number 1 on my Fave 5, but they've fallen to 4 in the last, like, month and a half. And not even necessarily because they haven't been as good as they were. It's just because the 3 people that I have in my top 3, I feel like, have really busted their asses to surpass Asuka at number 4.
Okay.
So this was another one that I was absolutely stunned that you didn't have in your Fave 5, because I feel like you and I constantly praise how much she does, how entertaining she is, how hard she works to be entertaining, how great she's been. Is this another situation with you like it was for me, where you feel like the last month and a half she's just kind of been usurped by other people?
Probably, yeah. There is quite a bit of recency bias in my list, I'm not gonna lie, because like you said, COVID just fucked everything.
Yeah, because, like, that's the thing. There almost has to be recency bias, because at least one person that I would literally just bet the entire farm on being in both of our top 3s only just showed up like 2 weeks ago. So I really have a little bit of that recency bias as well, and especially just kind of tweaking my list over the course of the last month and a half and kind of moving people around. That obviously is going to reflect recency bias. But
right,
if we were literally only just like trying to objectively rank who the most entertaining acts have been since WrestleMania, I think Asuka would be number 1 easily.
Yeah, Asuka's been like working her fucking ass off, no doubt.
Or at the very least, I think she would be at worst number 2. But yeah, Asuka, I think, I already kind of talked about how great she is, how hard she works, how entertaining she is, all that stuff. And I'm just so glad that she's finally kind of getting a real serious run as the face of a women's division on the main roster, because this is something that she's deserved for a long time. And finally, there's no Charlotte to show up and take it away from her.
Yeah, Asuka, I am so glad. Really, I mean, I shouldn't be glad that there's a pandemic happening, but it's so weird how both the pandemic and Charlotte being out really was a perfect storm for fucking Asuka. And, like, you'd think that just sounds utterly insane, but she's taken complete advantage of it. So I love that you're showing her some love, man, because she's definitely worked hard for it.
Yep. All right, man, who's your number 4?
My number 4, the rightful Intercontinental Champion,
yes!
Sami fucking Zayn.
Oh
baby.
My God, I forgot about Sami. How could I?
How dare you've been calling out my list and you forget about Sami
I'm
fucking
so
Zayn?
Embarrassed.
Sit down. I'm gonna take care of this. But no, I'm just playing, man. But in all seriousness, he has been, dude. We were even talking about it on Rocket League, and that's when I knew he wasn't just going to be warming the bench. He was going to be on the fucking team. Was that, like, I know you and I didn't actively think about it, and really it's not, because let me make something clear, too. Anybody that's both an honorable mention and on the list, like, it's still a huge honor either way, because these people are at least keeping me, like, giving a fuck about wrestling. Because I would tell you, how many times have I told you, Ash, especially about WWE with the pandemic, that I would just check out of these shows. No fans. It's no life. I hate it. So, like, when you make the team, that's really something. Sammy's been back for a cup of coffee, and already he's reestablished himself as one of, if not the best mic worker in the company to me. Yeah. Because if we still had crowds, he would be working these motherfuckers like nobody's business. And he makes Jeff Hardy more interesting just by relating to him because of the bond they have because of the Intercontinental title. And yeah, like, I think the biggest tragedy is that, like, he did suffer that injury a while back. I really felt like he was going to get main event steam because I want heel Sammy so bad. And in my fantasy world, I still want him so bad to be WWE champion. But I'll take him being the rightful Intercontinental champion. Sammy elevates everybody. He elevates what he's a part of. And really this list, because we haven't seen him physically active, is solely driven by promos. So what does it say that not only do you like crack the list, but you leapfrog Jomo, who's been both wrestling and promoing, just because you're that good of a fucking promo? Sami Zayn, man, is just top fucking tier. Do you have anything you want to add? Because I know you felt bad about forgetting about Sami.
Yeah, I'm going to add him to the very, very top of my honorable mentions because I do think it's appropriate. I don't think I would put him above Keith Lee or Asuka, but I think having him at the very top of my honorable mentions is apropos, so...
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So yeah, that was my number 4. So who's your number 3?
My number 3 is the big dog, Roman Reigns. He's come back just 2 weeks ago, like I said, and the dude is already the biggest reason to continue tuning into Smackdown every Friday. I don't know how his segments have been doing for ratings, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's popping them pretty good. He is finally the badass, silent but deadly motherfucker that we've been hoping he would be for like 6 years at this point. And I am just beyond stoked and over the moon for the new returned heel Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman.
Dude, it's fucking amazing. Rolling right along, my number 3, The Fiend. I
keep forgetting that you're that big of a fan of his. It's crazy. I don't know why, but I never even think to have him in my honorable mentions, and he always ends up on your list. I need to remember that in the future.
It's funny to me because I'm seeing a lot of people kind of sour on the Fiend. And really, I shouldn't even say a lot of people in my circle online, which is, it's kind of small, but whatever. And I don't get it, really. I think the aesthetic's still amazing. I think Bray is still creative as fuck. I still enjoy the allure of the gimmick. Now, granted, I will fully admit that when the gimmick first, debuted, and especially terrorizing Seth up to Hell in a Cell, I was about every fucking Fiend segment. That was some of the best television that I personally had seen in years from WWE, especially on the Raw end. I'm still vibing with him, though. I keep hearing that, they're probably going to try and turn him face. I don't know if that's true or not. I had this whole elaborate thing so long ago about how you could turn Fiend face and what Fiend would be symbolism for. I obviously don't think WWE's going to go that route again. When I think really creative, I immediately think of, Lucha Underground. But, I have confidence in Bray, and especially in this particular gimmick, that I won't say that it's made of Teflon, because I don't think you can really say that about any gimmick. If you want something to be buried, WWE will find a way.
Yeah.
But I do trust him to consistently make chicken shit into chicken salad. And I got to give WWE credit that they've pulled the Fiend back. He's not going to Clash of Champions. I'm guessing now Fiend Roman may be Hell in a Cell, which hopefully that'll be a better match than he had with Seth last year.
Yeah, I was going to say, do we really want to rehash a Fiend Hell in a Cell match after what happened last year with Seth?
I think they've kind of given up on the lighting for Fiend's matches, it seems, because he didn't have the lighting either at SummerSlam or here. So already I think the Cell match will be better because, I didn't care for the lighting at all. But right. I think you actually were cool with it.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. It added atmosphere to me. But yeah, a lot of people hated it. And in that case, I think it's probably better to just do away with it.
Yeah, so I'm actually looking forward to a one-on-one Fiend-Roman matchup. Don't really know what's going on with the whole Alexa stuff. I mean, clearly she's turning, but I don't know what the dynamic is going to be.
Dude, did you see the copyright that the Fiend or that got taken out for the new character on the Funhouse?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Wobbly Walrus.
Wow, what? Okay. That was going to be Paul Heyman, I bet.
I guarantee you it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because, I don't know if it's a missed opportunity or if they wanted to get a proper copyright and then they could just say it this way. I wonder if it's going to be Wobble E Walrus.
Yeah, dude.
Like Paul E. Heyman.
Yeah, and he's been referred to as a walrus before by people, so yeah, that's totally fucking Heyman. Yep. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, they're doing Hell in a Cell. And see, that's why he keeps making my list, because no matter how much people tire of him, now they're going, oh, he's just like a clown or, whatever. I'm still into what he does a full year later of main roster exposure. Now, that I think is a testament, because I think the main roster more than that will kill any interest, and the Fiend endures. And you know what? Let's not forget about the great stuff that he's done before we even came together to make this list. I mean, the John Cena matchup, the Funhouse match was fucking great. Didn't care for the SWAT match with Strowman. I'm not going to lie about that. SummerSlam was fine. But yeah, I've even said, there's a lot of guys that do, fucking inverted 450s and crazy dives and crazy suplexes and this and that. I do appreciate a really well thought out character, and I'm still enjoying the Fiend's character beat. So that's why I made number 3. So who made number 2 on your list, though, to hand the ball back to you, bud?
Number 2 on my list is the last person on my list that was in your honorable mention, and probably the most stunning omission from your list, Sasha Banks.
Yeah, well, take it away. It's boss time for you, partner.
Yeah, I'm like, how the hell did Sasha not make John's list? But yeah, she's just been fucking she is putting on, over the course of the last few months, not even just the last month and a half, the last few months, she is putting on a masterclass of storytelling, and she's doing it with nothing but body language and facial expressions. She's doing most of it with nothing but her fucking eyes. That's just how good this woman is at storytelling. She's exceptional. And there's also kind of this development in the last month or so where she has almost transitioned fully from being a vicious, ruthless heel in the ring to a fucking scrappy underdog babyface. And it's like people are barely noticing it happening, but it was in full display in the tag match against Nia and Shayna on Friday, and then Bayley beat the fuck out of her. So, like, Sasha Banks is, and I say this all the time, I always have her ranked at the top of my lists when we do our fantasy drafts. Sasha Banks is the most complete female performer in the WWE.
I think you said it perfectly. I really have nothing to add. She's been having an insane run. I think her and Bayley, I'd like their first contact, like as far as a match goes, to be WrestleMania. But whenever they lock up, it's gonna blow the fucking roof off, dude. It's gonna be amazing.
I fully expect them to have a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah. I know how Mark feels about that. I'm kind of in the middle between you two. I wouldn't mind a Hell in a Cell match, but I think it just does so much more justice to the story if it is at WrestleMania. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think you articulated why Sasha's amazing perfectly. I'm not even going to touch it. So number 2 on my list, the big dog, Roman Reigns.
I knew he was going to be number 2 because I know who number 1 is, and we have the same number 1.
I think, his booking has been fucking exceptional. I think the promo, well, really, he spoke so succinctly, but it was so fucking effective. Yeah. Heyman's been killing it. I'm interested in Heyman again. The whole swagger in just a matter of what, Ashton? Just a little over a week?
2 weeks, yeah, it's about 2 weeks now, because I think it was 2 weeks ago or was it last week? Was it literally a week ago today that Payback happened?
Yes.
Fuck, so Roman's been back for a week. It is 2 weeks, because he returned at SummerSlam.
He did return at SummerSlam, yeah.
He was supposed to be in the Payback match, but he didn't show up until after everything had already happened to win the title. So he's been around for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, and in those 2 weeks, look at the impact he's made. That he's only one behind somebody else for my Fave 5 in WWE, and yeah, it's his time, and I'm loving it. It's Roman Reigns' time, all the fucking time. I'm already interested in Clash because he's facing Jay for the title, which again is something I never thought I'd say, and it's just that I think they're doing everything right now, and I'm just enjoying the ride. Yeah. So. Who is your number 1, man? You mean who is our number 1, sir? Because I'm pretty sure it's Bayley. It is fucking Bayley. Hell yeah. You go first on this. Why did she make your number 1?
Again, there was a point that I had Asuka as my number 1, but really just Sasha, Bayley, and Roman have all been just doing so fucking well over the last few weeks and over the last month and a half or so, that they just kind of forced their way in front of her. And I think Bayley has really been leading the way because Bayley has been putting on amazing matches. She and the Tamina match, I believe, was a part of the 5 months that this grading period is happening during. And she is just consistently putting on great matches. She's consistently cutting great promos. Her trash talk is second to none right now. She's literally, we even talked about this the other day on, I don't even remember, it might have been a Rocket League stream. Bayley is probably the only person in the entire wrestling world right now who has found a way to make the lack of crowds work in her favor. Yes. So absolutely. At that point, like, I almost feel like my hands are tied. What else am I going to do? Bayley is just on top of the world right now. I think it's not even a stretch to say that she is in the conversation for the most entertaining performer in the entire wrestling world right now. And she's just kind of untouchable as far as I'm concerned. I mean, again, you said it perfectly. I think only because we even kind of established that I'm a bigger Bayley fan, I think, than you with the praise that I've gone on. I'll just talk a little bit more at length. I have straight up called this woman the best wrestler in the world right now. Yeah. Because it's not just about the moves or whatever. It's how you do them. It's the story you tell. It's the mic work. It's everything. And she's just so complete. Like, I am happily a victim of the pandemic, as CM Punk called it. It's, she's incredible.
She's incredible. And you know, like, can I just say, it's all the more impressive, and maybe I'm kind of telling on myself here for future lists, but it's all the more impressive when women's wrestling is fucking killing it right now.
Oh yeah.
Because like Stardom, if you're a TJPW fan, like I'm kind of in the middle with that, but I know Ashton's a fan. Not what's that one? Women's Wrestling Revolution.
Yeah.
So WWR. You know, there's so much great women's wrestling. I mean, AEW, their women's division is kind of shit, at least their promotion of it. But Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida fucking killed it last night. Like, women's wrestling is really making its mark right now, probably more than it ever has. And it's not just a Joshi thing, but I'd say it's practically global. Because then even, you know, you think about NXT UK and the UK scene, I know a lot of people are high on, like, Kaylee Ray and people like that. So for Bayley to not only be the best of that crop in my mind when I say best wrestler in the world, but that's just it, wrestler. Because I couldn't really think of many male wrestlers that are on the level that Bayley is at right now. It's just unbelievable. It's unfucking believable to me. And I have been so privileged to watch this run, to really watch Bayley's whole career, which has kind of been like stuffed into this whole story, but especially like these last few years, this last little bit with this recent heel run, just everything. She has been absolutely phenomenal. I love Bayley and her women's title reign. I'm going to be honest. I think her SmackDown Women's Championship reign might be on par, if not better than, for me, Becky's big Raw Women's Championship reign.
Yeah. I agree. Dude, here's the thing for me, too. I stopped enjoying Becky's title reign after a few months, and really, I wasn't enjoying her character as much before she even won the thing. So really, to me, I would absolutely sign on to, and I would do emphatically even, Bayley's current run being far more entertaining than Becky's run was.
Because the thing with Becky, and I do think she had great character work too, but I think, and I'm going to be honest, I know we got some passionate Becky Lynch fans, I'm sure, in the chat, and I've seen them all over the internet. I think some of her best character work, and it's a nitpick of ours, really did come on social media. And it's like, you got to do that stuff on TV. You know, and Becky was a phenomenal champion, and God knows she moved the needle forward. But like Bayley, she does an amazing social media game, but she doesn't do that to compensate for any lack of game in the ring or on TV. She's complete. She's absolutely a complete performer. And her title reign has really been something special. Like, if you want to talk about the SmackDown Women's Championship meaning something, when Bayley and Sasha get done with it, and we're talking about that next generation, like post four horsewomen women's wrestling, you can thank the four horsewomen, except for Charlotte, for really moving the needle forward and making that championship prestigious, because just incredible. So yeah, that's just what I want to say. Again, I really feel like you really said it all, but I just love Bayley so much. I had to say my 2 cents too. And yeah, she's just astounding.
Yeah, so. She really is. I think I went first on the WWE list, so I think it's your turn to go first for the NXT list and tell me your honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions: Timothy Thatcher, Breeze and Fandango, Karrion Kross, Mercedes Martinez, Robert Stone, I know he's more of a manager, but I just want to give him some love, Dakota Kai, Damian Priest, Undisputed Era, and Dexter Lumis.
Okay. I can dig that. My honorable mentions. See, I didn't list the entire Undisputed Era. I just listed one member, which might not even be the member that you expect. My honorable mentions, though: Finn Balor, Timothy Thatcher, Tommaso Ciampa, Dakota Kai. That's something we have in common. Kyle O'Reilly, Raul Mendoza, Shotzi Blackheart, Santana Garrett, and Indy Hartwell. So I only have 9, but still, very strong crop of honorable mentions in NXT. Now, John, who was your number 5?
My number 5 was Shotzi Blackheart.
I see. Dude, it's actually really funny. You'll come to see. My number 5 was in your honorable mentions, and your number 5 was in my honorable mentions.
Yeah. Shotzi's great, man. I say it every time. I can't wait for her NXT Women's Championship TakeOver matchup, because I really want to see her on the marquee. I want to see NXT give her the big treatment, the video package, tell her story, the whole 9 fucking yards. I want them to do it all. and I really hope she's a future NXT Women's Champion. I love her look. I think she's incredibly likable. I think she's got like an understated magnetism about her. She ran over Robert Stone with a tank 3 times.
3 times! And the first time he thought his heart stopped.
Yeah. You never forget your first. The first one was clearly the best, but still she did it 3 times.
Yeah.
She's got a great move set, including like a fucking modified like cattle mutilation, which is insane.
Seated variation.
Yeah, like she's amazing. She's a very complete performer. I think when we talk about again that like not necessarily post 4 Horsewomen because she's existing alongside the 4 Horsewomen, but just those people outside that realm that can really make a mark. I think Shotzi, man, has a huge upside, and I just always worry about, is WWE going to take advantage of it? Are they going to agree about the upside or not? I hope they push Shotzi, man. I hope they really get behind her, and I just love watching her compete.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun, and that's a big reason why she made my honorable mentions, is just because NXT is a fucking loaded crop, man. It is hard to pick 5 that stand out above the rest. I think that there's an argument for 8 or 9 at least to make the Fave Five. So it really is kind of difficult to decide who kind of makes those last couple spots after my top 3, at least personally for me. But that being said, Shotzi's great. Not on my Fave Five, but she was in my honorable mentions. But who isn't my Fave Five that was in your honorable mentions is Mercedes Martinez.
Love it. Love it.
Dude, I love that they gave her a manager, because her biggest weakness, as far as I know, has always been cutting promos. She is an exceptional in-ring talent. She at least strikes me as an exceptional leader of the locker room. And she has this physical charisma that can't really be taught. She's magnetic, but you put a mic in front of her mouth and she talks like a fucking suburban soccer mom. I don't want her on the mic, but Robert Stone being there to handle that for her is so perfect, and I love it. And I just get to see her wreck face all the time. And now I can't wait. Isn't Rhea versus Mercedes coming this Tuesday, actually?
This Tuesday in a steel cage match, yep.
Hell yes. I am stoked beyond belief for that match. Mercedes is, to me, really, I would say, one of the biggest missed opportunities in AEW. Because, I mean, really, to me, AEW should have been shelling out all kinds of offers for Mercedes to try and lure her away from WWE. And Santana was the other one, but mostly Mercedes in this case, because you heard the pop that she got at All Out last year when she was the wild card in the Women's Casino Battle Royale. As soon as that crowd reacted to her the way that they did, Tony Khan should have given her a fucking blank check and said, I don't care how much it takes. I know you want to go to WWE, but I want to make it worth it to you to stay here with us and sign on. Because that, to me, would have been such a huge turning point for AEW's women's division, and they missed out on her. And now she's in WWE, and WWE is treating her relatively well. They are, hooking her up with a manager. They're portraying her as this huge badass, putting her up against a former NXT Women's Champion in her first big high-profile match in a steel cage. I'm stoked. I love Mercedes. I can't wait to see where she goes in the future. I honestly hope she's a future NXT Women's Champion.
You and me both, man. I already told you I want the lineage to be, Io is the current champion, dropping it to Mercedes, who then drops it to Shotzi Blackheart because she's just been so involved with Robert Stone and the Robert Stone brand.
Yeah.
That's my ideal scenario. Really quick, and I'm sorry to do this before I get on number 4. I just wanted to make an addition to my honorable mentions because I knew I wanted to add it before we went live, and I kind of blanked, so I apologize for that. Isaiah Swerve Scott. I wanted to show Swerve some love.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to show Swerve some love. So number 4, Finn Balor.
Okay. Yeah, he was in my honorable mentions too. That's interesting.
Really been loving him on NXT. I've been loving his energy. He actually did an interview recently where he said he's learned to kind of compartmentalize in a way. Like, he takes wrestling very seriously and he still loves wrestling, but he's learned when to turn it off. He's like, when I'm in the ring, I feel like I'm the best I've ever been and I'm untouchable. When I go home, I eat a few donuts. So it's amazing that this man really does have carbs. And I watch Money Heist, La Casa de Papel, which is an amazing Netflix show. I still need to watch the 3rd season with the family, but they keep teasing me with it. So I'd highly recommend that. But yeah, I think Balor's whole energy, his mindset with this run has been really great. NXT's protected the fuck out of him, but I think he's delivered. I've enjoyed his takeover matches. He's just got an air about him and a swagger about him that kind of makes me feel like that's what it would have been if I was watching him as Devitt in New Japan. It's been very interesting. And the dude's 39 fucking years old, and I already told you how I tagged Javaris and Cliff and James like in a thing of him working out with like I think a 50-pound Bulgarian bag or something, and he's just like swinging it around. I mean, the dude's in insane fucking shape, and I've even liked his like tape promos and even his stuff on the mic. I don't think we've heard him like on a mic in a minute, but you know, he can talk. Yeah. It's not that he can't talk. I think he's very complete, and to be perfectly honest, I'm rooting for him on Tuesday to beat Adam Cole to be a 2-time NXT champion.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, dude, straight up, if we were doing Fave Sixes, he would have been my number 6 on this.
Yeah, I just think he's really in another zone right now. While everybody else ends up in the drop zone, But yeah, I'm rooting for him to beat Cole on Tuesday.
Everyone else watches the wrestling business. The wrestling business watches Finn Balor.
Exactly, and I hope he holds it. And then I really do hope that we go with Javaris' fantasy booking. You know, Cross beats him for it the first time, and then you do the Demon versus Karrion Kross rematch, and then that to me is fucking money for a takeover. Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to give Finn some love. He's fantastic.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so that was your number 4. My number 4. There's actually a strong chance I feel like that this could be a 3 or a 2 for you. I don't want to like spoil anything. Obviously, we're doing the whole thing where we're keeping quiet about it now. But my number 4 is Santos Escobar.
Let's talk about it. How you feeling?
Oh God, Legado del Fantasma has been a lot of fun. Their matches have been low key fire. Like, and I don't know if you even noticed, but I had Raul Mendoza specifically in my honorable mention. I fucking love that dude. I want to see him do everything. He's like future Cruiserweight Championship material in my eyes. I think he's great. I would love it if he would team up with an Escobar or, you know, we already got this tag team, Humberto Carrillo. I would love for them to just straight up go for one of the top 2 brand tag titles. That would be fucking amazing. Like, he's so good. He's so entertaining. But Escobar himself is really something special. This dude, I mean, you want to talk about the physical charisma that I was talking about with Mercedes Martinez? Escobar takes that and turns it up to fucking 20. Escobar's physical charisma is through the goddamn roof. This dude is the definition of magnetic. This dude is he's got a great look. He's an amazing talker, which is such a rare thing. When you bring in the Latino stars, the guys that work like AAA and CMLL and stuff like that, a lot of the time, English isn't their first language, so they're not necessarily great promos in English. Escobar fucking is. Escobar is an excellent English promo, and he's a great worker. He is, I would say, a few inches short from being a perfect blueprint for what you want in a pro wrestler. And the few inches are really just something that Vince cares about. I don't really give a shit about that. You can be 5'11" and be a top star in wrestling. We've seen it plenty of times. Daniel Bryan was fucking 5'8" and he became the top star in pro wrestling. So Escobar to me is the complete package. And the only reason that I mentioned the few inches is because it's going to take a few extra inches for Vince to be willing to get behind him, I feel like, which is probably why he doesn't get behind fucking Andrade or whatever. But yeah, to me, this dude is the complete package. He can do everything. He does everything. He's amazing. He's charismatic. There are no boxes that this man doesn't check, unless you're Vince McMahon, and height is one of them. So I fucking love Santos. I don't want to keep going because I'm starting to repeat myself. John, who's your number 3?
Number 3 is Io Shirai.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah, the NXT Women's Champion. And I say it like that because, man, she makes, at least as the champion, she makes that division so goddamn believable. Like, I feel like her energy, now I didn't see Io's Stardom run from, beginning to end. I'm not gonna, claim that I'm a purist or I'm that well educated. But it, like, from what I have seen of it, because I know we've watched some stuff together, she's got like that energy, albeit maybe a bit toned down, but I put that more on WWE than on her. I love the vignette style promos, when she's either like underwater or like maybe just in her room kind of relaxing, maybe after taking some fucking shrooms, and like, wow, even when I transcend, I still know that I'm the best fucking wrestler in the world. I love her swagger, man. I've been using that word for quite a few people, but she's got that. She's got that confidence. And I really feel like with the way Io presents herself, it should be that, like, it's going to take a tank to defeat her. And no, I'm not trying to play on that Shotzi's going to defeat her. That really is more an illusion to Mercedes.
I thought you were playing on the water tank that she lives in, apparently.
Yeah, like a boss. You know, but what I'm getting at is it should be somebody that is believable, and I think a Mercedes is definitely believable, and it should be a big deal. Like Io Shirai, let me put it this way. Io Shirai isn't your mother's women's wrestler. You know, like she's in a class all on her own. And like I know you could say that about a lot of women, again, Bayley, Sasha, Asuka. But the thing with Io is I think she was in a class of her own before we even knew about these people, or at least before they got, you know, the visibility that they got, because Io was making waves, you know, on podcasts and like the real, again, specialized wrestling voices that watch everything, like watch out for Io Shirai. Yeah. And I think now she's really been making her mark in America. My only hope for her, and I don't want to go on because I do want to give it back to you, but my biggest hope for her, if she does get called up, which I do think she will eventually, you talk about like your trepidation with Escobar because of the height. I talk about my trepidation for Io because she's Japanese. Yeah. And like Asuka to me is the exception and not the rule. Yep. Because Asuka's so goddamn incredible. She's like, you're gonna push me and you're gonna treat me with respect because I'm not giving you a choice. Now, do I feel like Io has those same qualities? Yes, but in a different way to Asuka. Yeah. And unfortunately in a way that may not even matter. Because I feel like in her way, it's like, I'm going to give every woman that you have in this locker room the best match of their fucking life. I'm pretty much Japanese Sasha Banks in that way. And then when you put her and I together, we've just taken match of the year for you away from everybody else, so you're welcome. Yeah. But I don't think Vince cares about that shit, and that's what worries me, because that, I think, is Io to me. Now, again, I would say you're a much bigger Io Shirai fan than I am, but for me, I think that's her big selling point, is that she's such a goddamn exceptional, prodigious, like, in-ring worker. Yep. But I don't think Vince puts a high premium on that, and that's where I'm terrified for her. Yep. But I just wanted to show her love. She's been a phenomenal champion, so believable, so credible, and I know it always makes you smile when I give Io some love, because I know for a long time she didn't even make my list, but she's really been doing it for me lately, so I hope she keeps it up.
Yeah, I've definitely been higher on Io than you historically, and that's not untrue this time around either, but it is great to see you, not only with her in your Fave 5, but in your top 3. That really puts a smile on my face, for sure.
Absolutely. So who's next on your list, bud?
Yeah, the guy that you forgot about to the point that you didn't even add him to your fucking honorable mention until we were already live. Isaiah Swerve Scott. I have fucking loved this dude on TV, and it's funny because I literally put two guys that are feuding with each other back to back, Santos Escobar and Isaiah Swerve Scott. But you know, as much as I love Escobar, Scott is like everything Escobar is plus some to me. Like Scott is. He's got the physical charisma. He's got the fucking magnetism. Magnetism. I mean, yeah, magnetism. The style, the swagger, the smoothness, the way that he moves, the talking. He checks all the same boxes that Escobar checks, but also he's not just really good in the ring. He's fucking incredible in the ring, and the way that he moves is unlike anybody else in pro wrestling today, or maybe ever.
Yeah. You just said the last thing that I wanted to tack on. Nobody moves like this dude does. It's insane because he does a lot of the crazy stuff that a lot of people do, but the way that he does it is what makes him stand out. And the idea that he can do that, because keep in mind too, let's be real here. We're in 2020. This type of style has been around for like what, Ashton? I'd say over a decade at this point, it feels like. Flippy shit and stuff like that isn't new at all. Yeah. And the idea that this dude still distinguishes himself, amazing, dude. Amazing. That's really all I wanted to add, because you're 100% right, man. You're 100% right. Incredible.
Now, my curiosity is beyond peaked for who you have here at number 2.
Santos.
Oh. Okay. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right.
First of all, so fucking handsome. I mean, god damn. Like, I know there's a phrase gay for paying. No. I'm paying him to be gay. Like, I'm like, you know, pick me, goddamn.
Pick me, daddy.
Oh, copy. Yes. Fucking hell. Bringing it down now, to be serious. What a credit this man is to Lucha Libre. Okay? Like, holy fucking shit. I know I joke about the look, but again, guys, let's be real here. If you're going to work for the WWE, you've either got to be really fucking charming, which is how you get away with looking like an Otis, and be unique on top of that because he does have more of a unique look.
Yeah.
Or you got to be fucking beautiful where it's like, yeah, we'll put you on every magazine that we're in partnership with.
Yep.
That's fucking Santos Escobar. And you already said everything about the height, so I'm just going to use that as a springboard so I don't have to, like, reiterate what you said. That is a concern. But if Vince could just get over himself, Escobar can get over with everyone else. Like, dude, you've seen this man. Let me. Okay. You've seen this man in a fucking suit with a title over his shoulder. Is that not the most believable fucking shit? Because, like, you Photoshop that Cruiserweight title with any other title, it doesn't become any less believable to me.
Yep.
Like, you put a WWE title over that shoulder in like a $5,000 suit and a microphone, it's Andrade all over again.
Yep.
And then they're not using Andrade to his potential, and it pisses me off. And they're not going to use this dude to his potential, and it's going to piss me off too. But you know what? That doesn't make us wrong. That's the thing. That's why we keep getting up here and celebrating these people, because we're not wrong. This dude is amazing. This dude has fun. Dude, this motherfucker has the balls to have an amazing match with Swerve. And he's like, totally unironically, I'm going to use a loaded mask for a finish. And I buy it. And I'm
going to justify it afterwards by saying, oh yeah, it was loaded with tradition.
I should fucking hate everything about it because it just, like, reeks of some late WCW shit. But he's so goddamn believable that I'm like, you know what? You're not wrong. I'm wrong for not wearing a mask when I watch you for being such an uggo by comparison. I'm going to say it. I know the old thing was, waking up, wishing I was Adam Cole. Don't lie to yourselves, fam. You want to wake up looking like Santos Escobar.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I know there are people in our chat that are devastatingly handsome, like Alex Foster, for instance, that are like, I don't see it. And of course you don't, because you have a luscious, breathtaking fucking mane that you call a head of hair. So, you know, but for the rest of us uggos, you know, people like myself with a receding hairline and an overbite, yeah, I look at Santos and I'm like, let me please drink off of your literal fucking drip. Am I thirsty? Yes. Am I desperate? Yes. Do I have issues? I go to therapy once a week? Fuck you. But does that change the fact that this man deserves to be a future WWE champion? Absolutely fucking not. Like, I love how Vince went all in on the worst fucking one in Alberto Del Bitchbag, and literally, you've had improvement upon improvement coming to your company ever since, and I don't even know if I would call Santos the perfect form, because I really feel like that's Andrade if you get behind him. But who's to say there can't be two perfect forms? Fuck it. Like, he's got it. He's got it. And it's right there, and I just feel they won't take advantage of it, and it sucks. It sucks. He's so good, and that's why he's number 2 on my list, because he's the most interesting Cruiserweight champion I've ever seen. Like, I really haven't cared about the Cruiserweight title until he showed up. And let's keep in mind who he replaced. Discount Finn Balor with his fucking overarching chin ass, like, just bulging out of there. Fuck you, Devlin. That's my Cruiserweight champion right there. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to hand it back to Ashton so I can fan myself.
Well, my top 2 have been in constant battle with each other over the course of the last month and a half. It's been a lot of back and forth. And if you ask me again in a month, I might have them switched again. Hell, if you ask me in 2 weeks, I might have them switched again. But for now, here's where I landed. My number 2 is Cameron Grimes to the moon.
Oh my God! Talk about it.
I mean, God, this is fucking hilarious and entertaining. And I think my favorite thing that I've kind of observed about him that I keep saying that everyone's probably already sick of hearing is that he's such a sleazy, dirty, grimy, sleazeball, gross fucking dirtball. And he's so fucking clean in the ring, though. He's so crisp, and he's so sharp, and he's so safe in the like. He does shit that is unbelievable, but he never fucks it up ever. This dude is like goddamn Matt Sydal. Well, fuck, that's a terrible example. I was gonna say Matt Sydal with the shooting star, and then he fucked it up last night. God, but like he literally got the WWE to unban the shooting star press because he always hit it perfectly. So before last night, he was like Matt Sydal. Another example, like Undertaker with a tombstone. Again, previously to dropping Goldberg on his head. God, why is everyone fucking up lately? Cameron Grimes doesn't do that. He doesn't do these things that these other supposedly perfect people have been doing lately. He doesn't mess up. Everything he does is clean and crisp and smooth and looks amazing. And yet he's just grimy, dirty fucking duh. I don't even know what word to describe him, but he's gross and I love it.
The beauty of being a caveman, and fuck those Geico cavemen. This is a caveman right here.
Yeah.
So I will say then, my number one is Cameron Grimes.
Hell yes.
To the moon. So, you know what? This is perfect, because when you said number two, I was literally like Light Yagami in the last episode thinking that everybody was going to die. He's just starting to laugh just a little bit. He's like, no, gotta keep it together just a little longer. And I was just like, just a little longer. So now I'm going to go on my tirade, if you would.
Please.
I'm giving the game away. I don't give a fuck. He's my favorite wrestler today. Like, he is the John Morrison while John Morrison's competing, and that's fucking wild to me.
Ooh, yeah, that's a big
that is fucking wild to me. Let me okay. I love how fucking quotable this man is. Literally fucking pick one. My personal favorite, of course, hey, Priest, want me to get you an Uber? And, like, I can't replicate the laugh, but the laugh completes it. I swear to you, on whatever God anybody might believe in, or if you don't believe in a God, I'll just say human beings for us of the secular persuasion. I swear on this earth, I'd go on that man's Twitter, Cameron Grimes' Twitter, to hunt down that hype video for him versus Priest, just so I can listen to that line sometimes. Like, hey, you want me to get you an Uber? And then the laugh as he drives off, leaving Priest a broken fucking mess. His in-ring work is untouchable. Anybody that knows Cameron Grimes as Trevor Lee from PWG and elsewhere, what's so fucking impressive to me, and I know this has been a matter of debate, because I know there were people that loved, us included, the PWG promos. Do you know how it really, because you look at a guy like that and you could think, I wonder if like swearing is a crutch for him. Nope. He only did it because he could. The idea that he can't swear and he has to keep it somewhat clean, and he's still a great fucking promo like this, blows my goddamn mind. His Twitter game is top notch. When Keith Lee won the championship, he's like, Keith Lee's a great guy for me to beat. And I'm like, yes. And let me tell you something, dude. Because now I don't want to take credit for this, because I almost feel like I should give you credit for this. Because I feel like you've made comments like this, but I'm just going to say it anyway. When he lost the North American Championship ladder match, the ladder match he should have won in the first place.
Yeah.
And he, I'm not bitter. And then he had the post-match interview with Mackenzie Mitchell.
Oh my God, yes.
Dude, you know what was so fucking great about that? Because I know you loved it too.
That it was rhythmic?
Well, it was rhythmic, yes. But what I was going to say was, if I showed you that out of context, to me personally, you could totally buy it as a babyface promo. Why? Yeah. Because he says he's never been that close to NXT Gold and he's not giving up. And that when he does get it, he's going to go straight to the moon. Moon. Ah, God. Because, he knows how to sell. Take notes, Kenneth.
Oh, my God. The shots never end.
Yeah, can you tell I'm in rare form today?
I love it.
So why I say that, and again, I don't want to take credit from you unnecessarily, because I think you've said this to me, him cutting a promo as a heel that you could just as easily read as a babyface, but like he's just a charming kind of, again, like you said, sleazebag heel. That's not like, oh, I'm cold and calculating. Look at me bunting these legends. I'm so scary. Nothing scarier than the fucking pandemic, civil unrest, and wealth inequality, okay? Stop being such a fucking tryhard. And Cameron Grimes is like, I don't have to be a tryhard. I'm just fucking entertaining. And when he cut that promo, you know what that said to me? This dude, and I think I've said this to people, and again, this might have come from you, could be a Daniel Bryan level babyface to me. Mm-hmm. Abso-fucking-lutely. Like, I'm sold. I'm sold. When he looks like that, you know, he really did. He is the quintessential every fucking man. Like, I imagine he had a backstory. Yeah, my dad worked on a factory. Like, it's just fucking there. Like,
I don't know if you remember this, but I actually used a completely different person to say this is who he reminds me of. Terry Funk.
Yes. It's just, dude, there is such a personability there. Yeah. And a likability there. And, dude, you already, like, that's the thing. I love the tirade you went on. And I didn't want to, like, completely reiterate everything you said, but you were on point about the in-ring work. The dude is so fucking good. And you know what? Fuck the haters, man. I go on record as saying I love the hat. You wear that fucking hat proudly,
Cameron. He rocks that shit, too.
You're damn right he does. God, see, I love when our faces are in such strong agreement. And his theme is fucking great. I've legitimately played his theme a few times. It works for him. I am going to pop so goddamn hard that I might even pop in the Alice No Sense that I might have to change my pants when he wins NXT Gold. The only reason, Priest, that I'm happy about you being North American champion is because Cameron Grimes needs a placeholder for his title. And that's your fucking function, Priest. I can't fucking wait for him to cave in that man's chest and cave in his fucking dreams when he takes that championship. And then, you know, Karrion Kross and Finn Balor can have their little machismo contest of who the scarier monster is. I don't give a shit, because at the end of the day, Cameron Grimes is going to take that NXT championship. And where's he going to go with it? You all fucking know where he's going to go with it. He's going to go straight to
the moon.
The moon.
Okay.
Bam,
I didn't know we were spacing it out like that. Okay.
Well, I didn't know that you were going to kind of cut in on me there, but yeah, that's it for me on Cameron Grimes, and we can move on to our next list.
I promise I wasn't trying to cut it. I was trying to join it. I thought we were doing it together.
No, that was a total misread. But what do we got next here? I think it's New Japan, right?
Well, I mean, if you want to skip my number one.
Oh, that's right. We have your number one. So who made it if it wasn't Cameron Grimes?
Well, it was the one person that I literally just looked at my Universal top 10 and I was just like, I just can't put Cameron Grimes above her.
Ah, okay.
No, Io.
Yes.
Io Shirai is my number one, of course. She's been my number one in NXT for a long time. Let me actually go back and see if I can find my last NXT Fave 5 that she wasn't number one on. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. She's been my number one all year this year. She was my number one on September 9th or September 1st last year. Here it is, 4/11/2019. And she was number 3 on that one. So that was the last time that we did a Fave 5 that Io Shirai was not number 1 on my NXT list.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. She's basically the longest reigning number 1 on any of our lists probably ever, unless I guess we could probably say Kairi Sane on the main roster for you. I think had a pretty long reign at number 1 as well. I don't know for sure.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, man, Io is... And a month and a half ago, I had Cameron Grimes at number 1 above Io. I legitimately had him there. And just over the last month and a half, between Io's work, you know, and her backstage vignettes, and then, you know, the match at TakeOver 30. It was TakeOver 30, right?
Yeah, I want to say so, yes.
Okay, yeah. I really am having a hard time keeping track of time lately. That's been a big problem for me. But yeah, her match with Dakota Kai was good. And I love too that she kind of had this vibe of like almost not taking Dakota Kai seriously. And than fucking paying it off by just beating her straight up. I love it. Io is amazing. She's my favorite performer. I don't know if I want to go as far as to say in the world, but she's definitely making a strong case for in the world. And I guess I kind of committed to whether she is or isn't my number one favorite performer in the world right now with our Universal Top 10s, which we will get to later. But yeah, she just does everything well. She does everything great. She's probably the best in-ring worker, the best female in-ring worker in the world, and arguably one of the best in-ring workers in the world, regardless of gender. Yeah, man, she's just fucking amazing. There's something mystical about her to me. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, I totally get that, man. You know, she was number 3 on my list. I know you fucking adore her. And yeah, it's Io's time right now, and it's wonderful to see. And I'm so glad that, like, really passionate fans of Io like yourself are getting to experience this run, because I know this is what you always knew Io was capable of.
This is what I was hoping that she would do much earlier by beating Shayna. I thought she'd be the one to beat Shayna. I thought it would be the right thing to do to have her to be the one that beats Shayna, because I feel like if anyone can do it, it's the literal best wrestler in the world. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, why can't Daniel Bryan beat Brock Lesnar? That kind of thing.
Exactly.
So, but the difference is, like, the size difference wasn't as significant as it would be with Bryan and Lesnar. But that's a whole other can of worms. You get the idea. That's our NXT Fave Fives. You ready to get into New Japan?
Yes, definitely.
All right, my honorable mentions from New Japan. Naito is an honorable mention, John. How does that feel?
That's pretty interesting, man. Pretty interesting.
Shingo.
Also interesting.
Jeff Cobb. Kota Ibushi. Kenta. PJ Black. Zack Sabre Jr. and Alex Zane.
My my honorable mentions, we're doing 5 Fave 5, is Naito, Hiramu, Gorillas of Destiny, Sonata, Ishimori, Desperado, Ibushi, ZSJ, Shingo, Clark Connors, Alex Coughlin, Alex Zane, and DKC.
Okay. You surprised me that you had the DKC on there.
Yeah, he's been doing good stuff. I've been enjoying him on New Japan Strong.
Nice. I like that, though. I like that we both had people from New Japan Strong on there. And we both had Alex Zane specifically.
Yeah, I love that. So, who came in at number 5 for you?
Well, number 5 for me was actually one of your honorable mentions, Hiromu Takahashi. It's kind of funny because I kind of tried to make my honorable mentions listed like in order, like if we were continuing the list from 6 to however many. And numbers 6 through 9, or 6 through 8 actually for me, were all LIJ. And then it turns out number 5 is also LIJ, because my numbers 5, 6, 7, and 8, which are all hypothetical, would be Hiramu, Naito, Shingo, Sonata. So I think that's pretty cool. It's like I have the entirety of LIJ in my Fave 5, sans, well, in my Fave 8, I guess you could say, sans Bushi, who is also like, you know, he's cool, but he's not a favorite, you know?
Absolutely. Hiramu is fantastic. Glad he cracked your top 5. Number 5 for me is Sho.
Love it. Nice. Awesome.
Sho has been fantastic. His New Japan Cup performance was stellar. His rematch with Shingo for the World Heavyweight title was just amazing. Absolutely. He's just so much fucking fun to watch. I hope he gets to be in the G1 this year. I have no idea what the fuck's going on with the G1. I did see some stuff in the Discord about it. You guys were talking about it. It's
actually funny, dude, that you have Sho at number 5, because I feel like we both have a junior at number 5 who could very easily be in the G1 this year due to people not being able to get into the country from other countries.
Exactly. And I couldn't think of 2 better talents to pad it out with than Hiramu and Sho.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, Sho is definitely the future, and the sooner we get to live in it, the better. So that's all I want to say there. Who came in at number 4 for you?
Yeah, my number 4 is like, I really hope he's in your top 4 as well, and it wouldn't surprise me if you even had him higher than me. But we've only just seen him over the course of the last month, Jay White is my number 4, and holy shit has it been refreshing to see him again, and holy shit is he telling on himself for being a fucking great human being. Thank you, Jay, for, despite being portrayed as a heel, being a better person than your babyface counterparts a lot of the time, including Ospreay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Number 4 for me, might surprise some people with how low he is. Please don't fucking kill me. Murder Grandpa, Minoru Suzuki.
Oh my god, you shocked me for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Suzuki's king, 52 years old and a believable never open weight champion. Like, what more do I need to say? We've talked about
I'll tell you
Suzuki
what you need to say. Fuck never open weight. 50, how many years old is he? 54?
52, I think.
52 years old and a believable world heavyweight champion if they would just goddamn put it on him.
God, I want them to. I think the best thing I ever said about Suzuki, and I was never going to top myself, you know, Undertaker had that whole feud with Triple H a few years ago where he called himself, or he said there can only be one last outlaw, and because he won that feud, you know, they'd say, oh, Undertaker's the last outlaw, the true last outlaw of wrestling. No, it's Minoru Suzuki. And I have said it, you know, so many times. The day that man retires is going to be one of the saddest days in professional wrestling. Yep. It's going to be a bittersweetness because at least thank God he's alive and he's living a life. Yeah. But wrestling will never have another Minoru Suzuki. His staying power, his believability, his mic work. Just give him a 1 month fucking title. You practically did it with Evil. You practically just did it with Evil. Don't tell me you can't do it with Suzuki.
I was going to say, if Evil can be a goddamn double champion, there is no reason. You have no excuse for Suzuki not being able to be a world champion.
Yeah, you really don't. Because any excuse you give to me is fucking nonsense. Yep. It's utter fucking nonsense. This man has earned an IWGP Heavyweight Championship match. And I'll tell you something. If they put him in the G1 this year, which, you know, I'm guessing he will. Like, I want him to face Okada again because he gives Okada his best matches. Yep. Maybe he'll even get me to give a shit about the money clip. Fuck out of here. And Suzuki's just fucking stellar. Like, nobody does it like he does it. Nobody. And, yeah, I adore that man. I absolutely adore that man. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm lowballing him. I just really liked my top 3. But Suzuki, I think he'll always get respect from me. Yeah. Just because, like, and you know what, dude? If I can just be perfectly honest with everybody, I really hate the term legend. I don't really like using it too often. But for Suzuki, when I say it, it really is as sincere as it gets.
That's the thing. We don't like the word legend because it's been so bastardized and overused and desensitized. Like, we need the word legend to carry some real fucking weight behind it, you know?
Absolutely. And like when I say it about him, and you can even hear it in my voice, like it's with the utmost sincerity and the utmost love, because watching Suzuki's a privilege. It really fucking is. It is. So who's next on your list, bud?
Oh, my personal I don't know if I'd say he's my favorite Suzuki opponent, but he is my favorite opponent of a lot of never open weight division fighters like Goto and Honma and Makabe. Tomohiro Ishii is my number 3.
Excellent. We
the
fucking
Stone
stand this
Pitbull, baby. Hell yeah.
Yes.
He's just so good. Like, I don't know if we talk about this enough. Tomohiro Ishii, what makes him special is that he no-sells so much that it convinces you that he's the toughest motherfucker on the planet. And then when he does sell, it's like, holy shit, that must have really hurt if the toughest motherfucker on the planet is selling it. And that's what makes him so fucking good. He is so good at selling himself as a tough son of a bitch and then selling his opponent as a hard-hitting son of a bitch by selling for them then later on in the match. And like when he does that thing where he'll like, you know, he'll go from like, he'll take a forearm and he'll like scream in their face like, ah, come on. And then they forearm him one more time and he actually goes down to like his hands and knees. Like, this dude's psychology and his selling are unironically, I think, the best in the world. Like, people who do, and I think Suzuki kind of does it similarly too, but the people who are the best at that particular thing are the people who are able to get themselves and their opponents over through nothing but the way that they sell.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving right along, my number 3, I'm breathing with the switchblade.
There he is. Yes, I was really hoping he'd make your list. I'm so glad he did. Yes,
dude. If you notice, I'm staying a lot more composed and mum because of our new rule of how we do these. So I never want to give my game away. But yeah, you were good, partner. When you said that, I was just thinking to myself, like, I got him. Jay White. I really hope people are starting to put some respect on this man's goddamn name, because I was really getting tired of the disrespect for a little bit. A great promo. Gets his fucking heat. The promo he cut on New Japan Strong, where he kind of made a little allusion to Finn Balor, Prince Devitt, saying, I'm the real rock and roller. And that, everybody's going to learn to breathe with the switchblade. And, evil isn't the leader. Like, I'm still here. He looks fucking great. He has amazing matches. Because, again, I don't want to make it seem like I'm like a Drew Gulak where I have an anti-flip agenda, right? Well, maybe Flip Gordon, but that's not the point. But
yes.
But again, I'm really feeling myself today.
I love it. Yes.
But I am really
Dude, he would have legitimately made my fave 5. At the very least, he would have made my honorable mention if he didn't fucking tweet that shit.
Yeah. He probably would have made mine too, man. Don't feel bad. Like, I'm right there with you. But and like, I just love these guys in the business. I love these guys in the business that are like, that looks really fun, but I'd like to be entertaining without breaking my fucking neck in 500 pieces.
Yeah.
And he does it. His psychology is on point. The way this man tells a story. Like, I haven't gone back and watched it in a minute, but I guarantee you, if you go back and watch Jay White versus Juice Robinson when they did it at a G1 Supercard in the US, I bet you that match still holds up. Because Jay is such a convincing fucking heel that he makes the babyface. Like, you just root for that babyface.
Yeah.
I love him. And you know what? You even said on New Japan Strong, so I'll piggyback off on you here. If they ever turn that dude babyface, he'll be a great face too. Because, I mean, look at the dude.
Well, and not only just look at him, but the fact that he came up the right way. He came up through the Young Lion system, and he was like this humble young lion. And he was a fan favorite young lion for a while too. Like, the Japan crowd is going to fucking love him when he turns face for them. Oh, absolutely. He's got it all, man. He's got it all. And I know, like, we've only seen him for a hiccup now that, like, he's able to work strong, but yeah.
he makes an impression right away, and that's why being top 3 was the only place for me with the switchblade. I am so ready to get fully behind this dude. Let me tell you what I'm really ready for. I'm ready for this pandemic to be fucking over so we can fully reintegrate back into New Japan and reclaim his fucking house. That's what I'm really looking for. So, yeah, Jay White, number 3. Who's next on your list, bud? Hang on a sec. Sure, not a problem. There we go. Number 3 was Ishii. So number 2 on my list is... does he have a nickname? Does he have a nickname? I don't know if he even has a nickname. I hope he does. I want to see if I can find a nickname. No, he doesn't really have a nickname. He just goes by High Voltage because number 2 on my list is Show. I fucking love it. I love that he ranks that high for you. Go, dude. Dude, there was legitimately a point that I considered moving him all the way up to 1. I see a future Tanahashi in this dude. I legitimately think he is that fucking good. Fuck the junior label and everything that comes with it, because he is everything that I want in a future world heavyweight champion. He is built like a brick shit house. He is an amazing strong style worker. He's right at home in the never open weight division. He has a great look. He's charismatic. He's got amazing babyface fire that is not a dime a dozen at all. It is not an overly common thing. The kind of fire that Show comes with is not something that you see in just any young lion that goes on their excursion and comes back. It is a rare fucking trait that he is exemplary in. And to me, he's just got that it factor. I don't want to call it necessarily a charisma, because while I do think he has charisma, but I don't think that's what makes him special. I think what really makes him special is that fire and that visible willingness to do whatever it takes to just fucking win, especially against Shingo. His matches with Shingo to me are the ones where it really comes out the most. And I think if he can find a way to bring that version of himself out against other people other than just Shingo, he's a star in the making, and I'm stoked to watch the star rise. Beautifully said, man. Number 2 for me, he doesn't give a fuck about giving you a great match. It's Kenta.
Oh my god, I love him. So glad he's in your top 2. That's dope.
Here's the thing, man, and I've said this before. Kenta, before the injuries, was one of the best wrestlers in the world. I will die on that fucking hill.
Yeah.
His matches with Marufuji, if I wanted legitimately to introduce somebody to Japanese wrestling, I would either show them a Kobashi match, a Misawa match, or a Kenta Marufuji match. That's like my top 3 if I wanted to show people the very best of Japanese wrestling for me.
Yeah.
But even with the injuries, him being able to be a heel and to just beat people the fuck up is entertaining shit.
And if he starts to feel in over his head, just shove the ref and hit a low blow and you got it.
Exactly. Can I say, too, how proud I am on some real shit of this fucking dude? Because not only does he go back to Japan, he ingratiates himself, to New Japan, which they kind of give him heel heat because he's an outsider. Has a great G1 outing, great matches with Ibushi, Tanahashi, Okada, whatever. Has the incredible heel turn on Shibata, which, God, I wish Shibata was healthy because that'd be the greatest payoff in recent pro wrestling history.
Oh, I want it, dude. I don't even care if it takes another 5 years. If Shibata ever comes back to wrestle one last match against Kenta, it's going to be the match of the millennium.
Yes. 100%.
It doesn't even have to be a 5-star match. The fact that it would have existed and the build up and the payoff and the blow off to it, like they could literally spend 15 minutes doing nothing but forearms to each other and I would still lose my shit. They could have a fucking Kobashi Kensuke Sasaki match and just chop 300 times and I would be so all in. It would be unbelievable.
Kenta, and why I'm so proud of this dude, and you're 100% right, by the way. He worked through the injuries because he even suffered a concussion, during his New Japan run because he is a former never open weight champion.
Against Ishii, that's right. Yeah,
against
World
Ishii.
Quest.
And, I'll never forget, I think it was an Instagram video or a Twitter video that he did, that he was so happy. It honestly almost made me cry, shedding that single tear. Because he's like, I'm working so much more in New Japan than in WWE, and it makes me so happy. Oh. And I'm like, we love what you do. And, I don't even care. Again, Kenta, before the injuries, one of the best wrestlers in the world. But honestly, I'd even say after the injuries, he still finds ways to be great. Yep. He really does. And the work that this man has put in on his English, when I'm hopelessly mono-fucking, at least this motherfucker over here, my co-owner commentary, is trying to learn Japanese and is being somewhat successful. Kenta goes, and I think his English got better when he went to New Japan than when it was in WWE. He's like, oh yeah, I can do this now. No more of that stupid Hideo Itami. I really hope, dude, that he beats Moxley for the U.S. title. Because they got Moxley's balls in a vice, they being AEW. I want to see Moxley commit to New Japan, but if he can at the moment, I want to see Kenta hold it. I want to see Kenta close out 2020 strong, and I'm loving his work right now, and I just had to put some respect on his name because he's fucking incredible.
I don't think Kenta is going to have an opportunity to beat Moxley for the U.S. title by the end of 2020. But I do hope that he is the one that takes it off of him whenever that is able to happen.
Right.
So
yeah. Absolutely.
I also think there's a chance that New Japan strips Moxley again and maybe Kenta wins the title off of vacant.
Yeah, that could be. That very well could be. So brother, who's next year? This is your number 1, right?
It is. It is my number 1, and believe it or not, dude, depending on who your number 1 is, which if your number 1 isn't somebody that I've already named on my Fave 5, then it'll be 3. But if it is who I think it is, it'll be 4 people that we have shared between our Fave 5s, which is kind of fucking crazy.
Right.
But my number 1 is also somebody that's been on your Fave 5 already, and it is Minoru Suzuki.
Oh my God, he made number 1. That's go.
Made. He's been my number 1 for so long, dude.
Yeah, you know what? I forget a lot in between Fave 5s, to be fair. But I just love that even during a pandemic and everything, he still holds on to his fucking spot. That's wild.
You know what it is? The last couple of Fave 5s that we've done, I had Hiramu at number 1. But prior to that, Suzuki was my pretty consistent top, few. But really, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is he hasn't lost a fucking step, man. He's so goddamn good. I love Ishii. I fucking love, like, Ishii. You already know, he's my third favorite wrestler in New Japan. He's exceptional. He's amazing. To me, Suzuki is everything that Ishii brings to the table plus credibility. Like, don't get me wrong, Ishii gives himself credibility in his matches, but Suzuki, you don't need him to give himself credibility because his presence is the credibility. Suzuki gives himself the credibility by merely existing. He doesn't have to fucking work for it. He is his own credibility. This dude is a certified badass who will literally kick your ass, hit you over the head with a chair, and then smile as he walks away. Not because he wanted to take anything from you, but because he just fucking felt like it. I love this dude. I need more people to start being Suzukis because, again, I'm not even saying I want more people to be assholes that beat young lions up. I literally just need more people in pro wrestling that understand pro wrestling the way Suzuki does. This dude understands, just like Ishii, that you need to be willing to be vulnerable, but you also need to know how to withhold that vulnerability so that when you do show that vulnerability, it's fucking special and it's meaningful. And that is what I love about Ishii and Suzuki and what really sets them apart from a lot of the other performers in wrestling in general, not just New Japan. But I think Suzuki is just a few notches above Ishii because I think he brings the credibility, he brings a little more of an intensity, and he's a little more willing to just kind of straight up be a fucking asshole, which you know is extra points for me.
I just want to say one more thing before I transition to my number one, because that was perfect. I will cry if that man wins the world title.
Yes.
If we are live reacting to it and we see it, which I'm hoping the universe is kind to us, and we do, I will cry if that fucking man wins the world title on stream. I don't give a fuck. That would be so emotional for me.
We've had John crying on live streams because of like John Morrison winning the world title and stuff like that a few times. That might be the first time that I ever get emotional on a live stream.
Yeah, like the fucking story, dude. He literally has in the Titantron that he's the king, and I dare anybody to take the fucking crown.
I dare to take it. I dare anybody to even fucking challenge him.
I dare anybody to even look at. Yeah, dude, he's just no. You don't fuck with Suzuki. In fact, if I was riding with somebody and they wanted to talk trash to Suzuki because we went to a new picture, I'd be like, shut the fuck up. Like,
they see him with a crown and they're just like, well, that looks stupid. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Dude, we should go back and watch his match with Shingo where he won the title because Javaris
we should watch the last few matches of that show, honestly, because that also had the rematch between Dangerous Techers and Golden Aces, and then the Naito win over Evil.
Yeah. So, my number one, you guys probably already guessed, Ishii.
Yes! I'm so glad. Dude, I was so scared that he wasn't even going to be on your list. I was like, did he just, like, not have Ishii on his list because he was teaming with Yano, who was being kind of an asshole, and like he didn't really do all that much in the New Japan Cup and stuff? Like, I was basically like fucking justifying in my head how you could not have Ishii on your list, and I'm so glad you do. And not only do you have him on your list, but he's your number one.
Oh, don't worry, I'm not one of those pet owners that lets their pet outside and forgets to let them back inside. We remember shit here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Javaris even said he'd cry his eyes out of Suzuki. Well, come on, Suzuki, you got to bring this home for us. But Ishii, just like like this is gonna sound like such a ridiculous reason, and I apologize. But do you really want to know why he made my number one? He gave Desperado his best match. Like the best Desperado match I've ever seen was the New Japan Cup against Ishii. And he gave an amazing fucking match.
Yes. Yeah. Dude, I was even thinking, and this is, I just want to say, this is exclusively because of Ishii giving him that match. I wonder if Despi's going to be in the G1 this year.
I kind of hope he is. I think Despi would be an interesting addition, but like, that sounds... So wait, you gave a guy number one because he gave another guy his best match? Yeah. Because here's the thing. If you're going to sell juniors being in the New Japan Cup, you need to be in the ring with performers that are very giving and selfless. Ishii is a very giving performer. Because let's be clear, when you look like that man does and can do what that man can do, you really don't have to sell for shit. Yeah. Like, I'm doing you the courtesy. And not only does he do the courtesy, he's straight up vulnerable with these fucking people.
Yep.
When he's vulnerable with juniors, if that's not a consummate fucking pro,
Yep.
I don't know what is. Like, that's why he's number one. And I'm not saying all these other guys that were below him wouldn't have done that. I have no reason to think that they wouldn't. But Ishii not only does it, I truly believe in my heart of hearts, he does it better than they can. Like, that's Ishii. That's the power of the pupper.
The power of the pupper! I fucking love that, yes.
I've practically given up my hope that this man is going to be an IWGP heavyweight champion. Mainly
that's why our campaign has shifted to Intercontinental.
There's no reason why that man shouldn't be Intercontinental champion. Yeah. Again, Evil just held the fucking thing. And Ishii is 10 times better than Evil. Don't at me. I know you won't. I don't think anybody in our chat will. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. So, like, I'm really struggling to not just go full-blown cynical. Fuck you, New Japan. If Evil can hold the world title, why the fuck can't our pupper?
Yeah, really. Evil becoming world champion should give us all hope, and at the very least, it should give us all, like, something to weaponize to be like, what about these fucking people? Wait, the 52-year-old and the pupper? Yeah, the 52-year-old and the pupper? Fuck you! That's Minoru Suzuki, goddammit.
Not just any 52-year-old, you son of a bitch!
Yeah, exactly. But no, Ishii, to me, the real best bout machine. You know, because I feel like Kenny, because I was kind of on his head earlier, Kenny, if AEW's done anything, it's exposed Kenny Omega for me.
It's so sad that you're not wrong.
I was having such a love affair with this dude, and really, dude, I appreciate you saying that, but once again, I have to give you credit, because I'm pretty sure even before he left New Japan, you gave him, like, a most overrated of the year on TWitWoW Year End Award, so I think you saw it.
That was because of Meltzer, though, because Meltzer kept saying he was the best in the world, and I was just like, look, he's good, but chill the fuck out.
Yeah. So,
let me see what year that was. I think that was 2018, but I want to look real quick just to make sure. Overrated Talent of the Year, 2017. It was 2017.
Yeah, so you saw it before I did, to be perfectly fair. But yeah, like, for me, AEW has completely exposed Kenny Omega. Ishii was the real best bout machine the whole time.
Hell yeah! Although, I don't know, fucking Ibushi's making a run for that shit now.
Ibushi's making a run for that shit, but I'll tell you, man, like, I don't know if, obviously I'm going to be biased because Ishii was my number one and Ibushi was an honorable mention, but Ibushi looks the way that he does. Excuse me, that was really rude. Ibushi looks the way that he does, and I can believe the offense. Ishii, like, he's this stout dude that's, like, a bit, like, you know, thick, and he does fucking poison ranas. It's not fair, man. Like, it's not fair. Like, you know, Ibushi looks like a Greek god. Of course he can do Super Saiyan things. But when Ishii is like, okay, let me try. And he really is the type that everybody else is gathered around him, right? They're kind of covering their mouths to kind of stifle the snickering. But then he does it. And then what do you all look like? A bunch of fucking assholes because you were stupid. And, like, it's amazing. It's amazing. I love this dude. This dude, like, you show somebody an Ishii match, and they're probably like, okay, so is this like a sumo type shit or like what? And then he does what he does. It's like, oh yeah. How's that myopia taste? Fuckwad. No, we stand this pupper. We stand this pupper. Hell, I fucking sleep outside. This motherfucker gets the king bed. This pupper is the only reason why I understand why people obsess over their pets. This motherfucker is why I almost understand people that leave their entire wills, like everything in their wills, to their pets. Because if they were all like Ishii, yeah, humans ain't shit. Humans ain't shit. So those are my remarks about Ishii. And because you gave your number one there of Suzuki, we can move on to our next list. And I think that's our Stardom list.
It is. And this was probably the most difficult one for me to fill out, dude. I'm not even going to lie. I had such a hard time with this. But you get to go first. Who are your honorable mentions?
Okay. Please don't hate me.
Oh,
okay?
God.
But I did something a little different.
Oh, no.
Let me explain.
Okay.
Stardom is my favorite promotion in the world right now.
Yes.
And I was thinking a lot about it. So I did something a little different with honorable mentions for this one.
Okay.
I put literally everyone except, so I did exclusion, not inclusion. I put literally everyone except Saya Ida, Hina, and Natsuko Tora. because I fucking love all these fucking women. I am so supportive of what they're doing, except for those three who I really just do not like. I wanted to
poor
use
Hina,
honorable mention.
little 13-year-old girl getting hated on by John.
Well, I'm giving her adulthood before she's ready for it. Bullying, you know. I shouldn't even say that given the Honda stuff, but like I just don't like her. And just in all seriousness, she doesn't do anything for me. Saya Ida, you probably saw that coming, and Natsuko Tora's boring as shit.
I agree with that. Dude, I don't even disagree with the other two, but Hina, you threw me for a little bit of a loop there.
But like, yeah, so I didn't want you to be mad at me or hate me, but I reverse engineered honorable mentions because Stardom really is my favorite promotion, and I support all those women that like, dude, I struggled with this Fave 5 here.
It's not easy, dude. It's not easy at all. It's so hard.
So I just wanted to save everybody time, and that's what it was more than anything, was a time saver, except for my exposition on why I did it. So who was in your honorable mentions?
Well, I didn't go quite the generous route that you went.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I'm gonna list them from bottom up. So basically, I had 3, 6, 7, 8. I had 8 women in my honorable mentions. So this is basically me listing them from number 13 to 6, right?
Okay.
So at 13 would be basically Saki Kashima, who I miss and I can't wait to see back. Then Tam Nakano, then Maika, then Saya Kamikani, then Shuri, then Jungle Kyona, then Himeka, then Julia. So literally all 4 members of DDM are in my honorable mentions, actually.
Okay. Coming in at number 5 for me, this was the hardest one, honestly, was who was going to break it. It was between 2 people. I'm not going to mention the other one because I don't want to, like, shit on whatever you've got going on. Who I decided on was Utami.
Oh! Dude, we both have Utami at 5!
Wow. Again, I'm not going to say who she was competing for because I'm guessing this woman might actually be pretty high on your list, and I don't want to, like, take anything from you.
No, dude, I mean, still, though, she would be in your honorable mentions otherwise, so you could still just mention her.
It was between her and Momo.
Okay,
like, that was the big struggle there, dude. I fucking dude, this fucking promotion. I want to just say again, this is my favorite promotion in the world right now.
Yeah.
These women, nobody's doing it like these women. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
But Utami, since we both had her, and we'll kind of break the rule, so I'll try and share the talking time. She's a beast. I call her the dragon because she had a lot of titles, and I still call her a dragon because she breathes fucking fire in that ring. Dude, she's so fucking tough. Like, she really is kind of a female Suzuki in the sense of, like, just how much damage she can take and just still beat your ass because she beat Jungle Kyona after eating an apron powerbomb that she actually sold.
Yep.
Fucking what? Like, dude, she's so good. She's, like, I struggled so goddamn bad because I've really been loving Momo lately. But Utami,
dude, do you know
man,
what's really funny
special.
about the fact that we both have Utami at 5 is that we were also both struggling with somebody else to put Utami at 5. Because like you said, you were struggling between Utami and Momo. I was struggling between Utami and Julia at 5.
Yeah, dude, I get it though, man. I get it. It's so hard to put this list together. But Utami to me is the future. Like, I want so badly, and I know we will because we cover every Stardom show. Hell, we financially support Stardom, which I'm so proud of. Everybody subscribe to Stardom World, please.
Yeah.
I can't wait, and I hope you and I are around to see the day this woman becomes Red Belt champion.
Yes.
I love Utami.
I give it 3 years. I guarantee you she's Red Belt champ within the next 3 years. I promise.
Dude, I hope you're fucking right, man.
Before she turns 25 years old, she'll hold that red belt.
I call her like the next big thing. It's taken her a bit longer than Brock, admittedly, because he had a fucking meteor up his ass.
Yeah.
But she's something special, man. So I want you to talk, though, because we shared it. So why do you love Utami so much?
Well, dude, that's the thing. I love her story. I love that she is like this, like, fucking and it's not even fair to call her a prodigy, because in my mind, somebody who's a prodigy is somebody who figures out what they want to do for the rest of their lives before they even become an adult. So that's how I define prodigy. Basically, if you're a pro wrestler, the only way you can be a prodigy is if you start training to be a wrestler by the time you're 18. Like that in my
Right.
mind is how you become a prodigy, is by training really fucking early, because you just know that that's what you want to do. That's what a prodigy is to me. So it's not fair to call Utami a prodigy, but if you loosen the definition of it a little bit, she absolutely could be defined as a prodigy, because this woman, let me just detail her fucking rise, okay? This woman this woman is the first, I believe, first ever person to have their protest put, that was two different words, protest, their test to become a pro. I don't want people to start thinking that I'm talking about protesting, but the protest, she's the first woman to have that put up on Stardom World for the world to see. So we all basically got to see her at her absolute worst, getting blown the fuck up, doing 100 and some squats, doing all crazy kinds of push-ups, having to go through shoot fights with the legit badasses like Konami, and then having to work wrestling matches with like Jungle Kyona and Mayu and shit. And then after all that, having to basically tell people, having an interview where she had to say why she wanted to be a pro wrestler, what role she saw for herself in Stardom. It was basically a job interview after basic training. Like, it was fucking insane. And then she passes the protest, debuts in August against a woman that she called out in the job interview part of her protest. She literally said, I want to be the top power wrestler in Stardom. Who was the top power wrestler in Stardom at the time? Jungle Kyona. And Utami debuts against her, doesn't lose, takes Jungle to a time limit draw in her first match. And after the match ended, do you know what happened, John?
Don't they have a rematch and Utami beats her, I'm guessing?
No, Rossi, the owner and promoter of Stardom, gets on the mic and says, hey, Utami, we have an open spot in the 5-star Grand Prix, and I would like for you to fill that spot. Would you be?
That's right.
And she was like, yeah, absolutely. So what does Utami do then? She wins. She wins. She wins. She goes to a time limit draw with Jungle again. She gets 10 points as a rookie in the 5-star Grand Prix, immediately wins the block, only to lose to the face of the company in the finals in Mayu. And then what does she do? She says, okay, well, I was kind of dominant, but I lost, so now what? She tags with Momo. She and Momo, again, Utami as a rookie, win the Goddess of Stardom tag titles and hold them for like 6 months. They had a long reign with them. And then what comes up next? Another 5-star Grand Prix? Well, that's interesting. What'd she do there? Stays, I think she lost 1 match. Otherwise, she was undefeated until she injured her finger. So again, like, I can't emphasize this enough. Utami has only lost 2 matches out of 13 5-star Grand Prix matches. She only has 2 losses, despite the fact that she participated in a 5-star Grand Prix as a rookie. And she is just this dominant force in Stardom. And now she's only 2 years removed from her debut, and she's leading another rookie in a Goddess of Stardom tag team run. Like, this woman's unbelievable. Her credibility is through the roof. She's a great worker. I love her judo background, the way that she works that into her matches. I love that she's this great power wrestler, but she's also relatively nimble for her size, and she's still able to do stuff like drop kicks and stuff like that. I just think she's a fucking amazing performer, amazing talent. There's a lot of good to say about her, and the only reason I'm cutting myself off here is because she's only number 5, and if I've talked this much about my number 5, the fuck's gonna stop me when I talk about 4 through 1?
Oh, we're getting ready for a dissertation up in this bitch. Number 4 for me, I love Julia.
Ah, yes!
She's amazing.
I don't know. Yeah, you couldn't hear her because she intentionally didn't make a sound, but my mom went boo under her breath.
You should be booing yourselves, in the words of the great R-Truth. You want to talk about stories, man. I mean, Julia got poached from Ice Ribbon by Stardom.
Yep.
And the funny thing is, man, is that when you have a story like that, not to put any unnecessary pressure on Julia, but you gotta deliver. Because, like, it's not a good look, right? Yeah. And so it's like, we really went about getting you in some unique circumstances. I hope you're worth it. Julia's worth it.
Dude, oddly enough, I don't know if you were aware of this, but Stardom and Ice Ribbon are going to be working together.
Well, imagine that.
Yeah, dude, there's this big like coalition of Joshi promotions that are all going to be kind of working together under the name Assemble. And they're going to start running shows. I think the first show is like October 1st or September 30th or something like that. And yeah, Joshi, it's like Joshi promotion. And yeah, Ice Ribbon and Stardom are both a part of it. It's like Ice Ribbon and Stardom, Seedling, which is another weird thing because Yoshiko is a part of Seedling. And then her interacting with Stardom is going to be weird as shit too. And then like Oz Academy, and like I think there are like 9 different promotions that are a part of it, and it's like this big collective project of all these Joshi promotions that's basically meant to get more eyes on Joshi, and just basically put together these like super cards every now and then. And they even plan on running multiple shows. Like they don't plan on it being a one-off thing. They plan, but the first show that they are running, they're going to basically keep the promotions divided. Like we'll basically just get like, I don't know, like Mayu versus Julia or something. Like we'll get a Stardom match, and then we'll get an Ice Ribbon match, and then we'll get an Oz Academy, like that kind of thing. So they're going to keep them separated, but they do eventually plan on, once the pandemic has kind of passed and we're kind of able to interact and not worry about spreading the coronavirus, they're planning on having inter-promotional dream matches at some point.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really happy to hear that because I think, a collaborative effort. I've already told you, my big dream that'll never come true is like just a borderless wrestling. Just go anywhere you want, work anywhere you want, get paid, get all the dream matches, et cetera, et cetera. But back to Julia.
Yes.
She's so good. Like, she's so poised. Her promos, she's got like a magnetism about her. Which I think is a bit understated because it's not like in your face. She's classy as fuck. Yeah. Like that's the thing with Julia. Like I love that this woman can go hard in the paint, so to speak, and yet have a regality about her through it all that she never loses. And for a long time, you could say that Julia never loses because she was undefeated. Stardom finally, did away with that.
Himeka!
But yeah, exactly. Her faction's fucking believable. And in fact, I think we can say that perhaps DDM is my favorite faction, given how my Five Fave Five plays out. But yeah, like I love it. I love the look. Even the little, I fucking squee over the stupidest shit because it's like Donna del Mundo, and I love it. I don't know what it looks like. The little things. I'm like, I was a part of it, Julia. You see, I love you. And she's like, I know, nerd. Simmer down. And I'm like, I know.
And then like, I love too that she even has like her own version of the New Age Outlaws intro where they would do the "You didn't know" like that whole thing, and then the "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages." She does her own little version of like that crazy, like repeatable, quotable intro with for all you guys that love Julia, that thing.
Exactly. Solid promo, fun in ring.
Yeah.
Great look. Like, this woman really is, and I don't know when it's going to happen, and I know it's weird to say, like, face of the company when you're a heel, but, like, this woman really is, like, if she isn't already a top star for Stardom. Yeah. And, like, you put the world title on her, it'll be so fucking believable. I feel like she's already believable as Wonder of Stardom champion.
Yeah.
They are... You want to talk about booking and presentation? I don't know if I've seen a better presentation than what Stardom has done with Julia, given her own faction, which, again, is amazing.
And I think the best thing, too, is that they are using this presentation, but it's not being wasted on somebody that can't go.
Yes. Yeah, like... Dude, she has delivered in every situation they've asked her to deliver. Yeah. It's amazing. So I'm going to cut myself off here so we can get back to you. Who's next on your list?
Oh, God. Number 4 on my list is Konami.
Talk about it, brother.
Dude. God. What? I'm almost at a loss for words because she is like this shoot badass, but at the same time, she's so fucking adorable. Like her personality is so like quirky and silly. And like she had the whole thing where she was kind of a predator for a little while, like creeping up on Jungle. And even when they first came back, they were like, the everything is great when it's, and then everyone else said Tokyo Cyber Squad and she said Jungle Kyona. So it's like she's still kind of creeping on Jungle a little bit, and there's something charming about it, even if it is a little creepy. And so, like, I think you kind of described it best before when you said that you love that we have this shoot badass submission based wrestler with a personality, because that's such a rarity. And like, you've got Zack Sabre Jr., who's this like well, not really a shoot badass, but this submission shoot style wrestler. But his personality is that he's a sneaky fucker. So it's not really the same thing. Konami has like this quirky, weird, bubbly personality, plus the real like actual shoot fighter package. And I just love it. I think she's just a great combination of terrifying and adorable at the same time.
Absolutely. So number 3 for me is Azumi.
Oh, God.
She's fucking ready.
Hell yeah, she is. You goddamn right she is.
Her new ring gear, her theme, which was growing on me the last time I heard it. I wish we would have gotten to hear it like a bit more before the pandemic just cut the flow of the shows.
Yeah.
Her being high speed champion, like I have openly said on stream when we live react to shows, I will fucking fight anyone. This woman's a red belt champion. And let me tell you something, if that doesn't happen, Stardom's wrong. Stardom's wrong. There is nothing this woman can't do, and her arrogance. When I tell you people, it is fucking delicious. Like,
delicious. I was gonna say it's earned.
And earned. You're not wrong. I live for this shit. When Azumi more or less tells you in one breath, 1, that you're old, and 2, that you're not as good as her, I'm gonna need you to sit on it, because the test was ran, no lies detected. Deal with it. This woman is everything. You want to talk about Io's air? You're fucking looking at her. Full fucking stop. I adore this woman, and really, I have to thank my cohort in commentary here, because that first ever match you showed me, like, hey dude, I gotta show you something. And I'm like, what? How would you like to see 2 young kids that are like not even the like fucking teenagers having a fucking great wrestling match? I'm like, who's doing child labor? And then he sent me the link and we watched it. And I'm like, maybe capitalism made some points. I don't know. Maybe they made some points. She blows my fucking mind. Like, I believe I once tweeted many, many moons ago, especially on pandemic time, that there is going to come a day that this woman is going to gain the reputation that Io Shirai worked so hard to gain, and people all over the world are going to talk about her. I bet the house on it. This woman, and it's funny that I'm talking about her like this when she's not even my number 1, but it's not just, I'm ranking her where she is now. This woman's going to be a number 1 in the future because of what she will become. Like, I am putting so much fucking stock in that.
And you've also got to remember, dude, Io really gained that reputation when she was already like 25, 26 years old. Azumi's 17, turning 18 in like a month.
Yeah. This woman is wrestling at its very best.
Yeah.
And God, please, I don't want early retirements. I don't want career-shortening injuries. I want this woman to go pillar to post in her career, do fucking everything, because I promise you, if the universe gives her that, she will do it better than everyone else. She's special. Azumi is fucking special. You said how you define prodigy. I think Azumi fits your definition. Your actual non-losing definition. This woman's a fucking prodigy.
She's been wrestling for 6 years, and she's not even 18 yet.
She's a genius. She is a quintessential fucking genius. And you know what? Fuck everybody that looks on some real shit. And this is how I want to close. Fuck everyone that ever puts their nose down at professional wrestling, because while you're jerking off to the classical music or the paintings or this and that, we have geniuses in pro wrestling too, and nobody embodies a genius quite like Azumi to me. That's what I want to fucking say. Back to you. Who's next?
And I also do want to just briefly correct myself. We're actually a lot closer to Azumi being 7 years into her career than 6.
Unreal. Just unreal. Absolutely unreal. So
yeah.
who's next on your list, bud?
Number 3 on my list might come as a bit of a surprise to you or some people, but it's literally the face of the goddamn company and the protagonist of professional wrestling, the savior of Stardom herself, Mayu Iwatani.
Awesome. Talk about it.
It's one of those things where when you are going through troubling times like this, you really realize who are the leaders? Who are the leaders and who keeps things feeling stable and who keeps you grounded? And nobody has felt like more of a grounding force and a stable force to me than Mayu during these times. Mayu has been unwavering during the pandemic era, and this woman's releasing a fucking book, or released a fucking book. She is a bestseller. She is unironically a bestseller right now. Like, her book is that popular in Japan already. She's a bestseller, and it's literally just her life story. Like, it's not a fictional thing. She didn't make anything up. She is literally just selling her autobiography that she wrote herself, and it's selling like hotcakes. She was I think she was like the #1 Joshi wrestler last year, and I like disagreed it because I thought it should have been Arisa, but now I'm kind of coming around like, damn, Mayu is that bitch. She is. That's like,
love it.
It's also, part of it also comes to me through Discord and having conversation with Jackie, because Jackie kind of does this thing where she'll act like Mayu is just kind of this clumsy average girl that anybody could have been, but like, that kind of forces me to think about like, okay, but I can't even describe how wrong that is, because Mayu is unbelievably charismatic, and even from day one you could see that she had a certain magnetism to her. And I can honestly say from day one, because I've literally seen her first match and her first few matches actually. And then, but just beyond that though, she is a physical freak. She's athletic as fuck. And to take it even further, she's got fucking supernatural levels of flexibility that normal people are incapable of having. It's ridiculous how much physical talent this so-called ditzy woman has. And yet, yeah, she can do some clumsy things and she can mess up her words and stuff sometimes. But as soon as the bell rings, it's like a fucking less offensive version of Festus, because she's kind of ditzy and clumsy outside of the ring, but in that ring, she's a fucking swan, man. She's graceful as hell. She is elegant. She is an amazing high flyer. She's smooth. She's technically precise. She hits on everything. And again, I think it really is during the trying times, like pandemic era, that you kind of go back to your leaders. And if they're good leaders, you love them. And Mayu has been a great leader, and that's why she's made the Fave 5 for me for the first time since our first Stardom Fave 5, which I believe was actually last year at this time. So it comes full circle. She was on the first one, she missed out on the 3 in the middle, and now she's back on it on the 1 year later version.
Love it, man. I think that was beautiful. Number 2 for me, I think you guys are going to love this. Shuri made number 2 for me.
Wait, damn. I mean, you did say something about DDM being your favorite faction based on your Fave 5, and that got me to thinking like, oh my god, is Shuri gonna be higher on this than Julia? And here we fucking are. God damn, bro, go.
She's the Kenta of Stardom, and I'm talking before the injuries. Like, the way she kicks people's souls out of their body. I'm sure that there are people with some very sophisticated operating systems and very sophisticated, software and hardware for their computers and shit. I bet you if you could just maximally zoom in, you could see coming out of the people's mouths after they get kicked a little like gust of air coming out, but that's not air, baby. That's the fucking soul leaving and being like, no, anywhere but here, please. She's vicious. She's fucking charming as shit. Oh my god. Like, I'm going to be truthful. Like, she almost took the number 1 spot. Like, to let you guys know how much I love this woman. Like, yeah, she almost took the number 1 spot.
Dude, if I know who your number 1 is, I think you have a fucking type.
Yeah, I definitely do. I'm definitely telling on myself. but I don't give a shit. Fucking great. She's fucking amazing. Oh my god, I love it. I love everything about it. Shuri is phenomenal. She's absolutely phenomenal. I want to just be very personal for a second and just speak as John here. I know Shuri apparently is going through some tough times. I think it was her mom passed away. We discussed in the Discord. I am so sorry for Shuri for that. Family comes first, and I know she'll never hear this, but on the off chance that a wrestler ever does, I always want to say good things about those that I love and try and be a bit kinder to those that I don't. But watching Shuri is a privilege. Like, it really is. She's so much fun in that ring. I love the striking game. Again, she's delightful when she talks, because she's got like this adorableness about her, and then you're like, oh, how cute! And then when you notice that your hand has a few less fingers than what you came in with.
She's a flirkin'.
She kicked them. Yeah. Like, don't fuck with Shuri, people.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I really hope that she becomes a Wonder of Stardom champion. I don't know if she can win the red belt. I think if she committed to Stardom, she could. But, like, I just want to see her win all the titles. Shuri, all belts. Let's fucking do it. She's
and dude, the funny
incredible.
thing, I mean, it's not really funny in the sense that it's almost tragic, but the thing is, she won't win any big titles in Stardom until she officially signs with them, because she's still a freelancer.
Yeah, that's right. Man, that's really a shame, bruh. That's, god damn. But, yeah, I just wanted to celebrate Shuri. She's brilliant in the ring. Again, it gives me such Kenta vibes.
Yeah.
And I hope she does commit to Stardom, because she could really... Because isn't she only in her early 20s? How old is Shuri? Does anybody know?
I think she's like 33.
Oh, wow. See, and that's another thing, too.
31. She's 31. I just looked it up.
Yeah, she's so much older, because she looks so young to me, like in the face and everything.
Well, she has a young face and a young personality. She's very sweet and adorable and cutesy.
But you know what, though? 31 is still enough time to do some amazing shit.
Yeah.
Get on it, Stardom. Give us all the amazing shit when she's ready. And, yeah, I just want to celebrate Shuri, because I adore that woman. She's definitely got pulling at my heart right now. Yeah. So what about you, brother? Who's next on your list?
Well, it's funny that you said that DDM was your favorite faction based on your Five Fave Five, because I think QQ is my favorite faction based on mine. Because you already know we both had Utami at 5, but the difference is I have Momo at 2.
Oh, I knew she was going to make one of our lists, and I'm so glad she made yours. Go off, brother.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that this grading period didn't include the 1/8 show, or the 19th, I think it was actually, the 119 show. The one where we had Momo versus Mayu for the red belt. Because I think if that one match with the post-match involved would have been added to this grading period, she might have been my number 1. But because some other stuff happened over this grading period that was in favor of somebody else, Momo fell to number 2. But yeah, Momo has completely done a 180 for me from a year ago when we were starting to watch Stardom. I didn't like how much of a spoiled brat she came off as back then. I didn't like how much of a bad sport she came off as back then. But I've done a complete 180 because I think she has really shown vulnerability that I hadn't seen prior to our Five Fave Five that we did a year ago. And that has just completely won me over. Like, really, it's not even just women, but when wrestlers are able to be vulnerable and show that vulnerable side of themselves emotionally, that gets me so much more attached than when they go like all tough guy, like, oh, I'm going to kick your ass kind of thing, you know?
Absolutely, man. No doubt.
Yeah, and the last few months for Momo haven't been great. She actually doesn't have any titles left. She is strapless in a sense. But at the same time, that fucking triple threat with Mayu and Konami, and that fucking tag match where she teamed with Azumi against Mayu and Kid, and the other fucking tag match where she teamed with Azumi against Utami and Saya, and the fucking incredible 8-woman tag where it was QQ versus DDM, and she and Shuri went the fucking distance. How perfect is that too? That we have Momo and Shuri at number 2, respectively.
Dude, like, I can't wait for them to have their match.
I know, and that was like, it's devastating that Shuri is dealing with what she's dealing with, and that she was unable to participate in the 5-star this weekend, because Momo versus Shuri was far and away the match that I was most looking forward to on the two shows that we had this weekend. But still, family's got to come first. She has a lot of emotional baggage to unpack now because of the situation, and my heart goes out to her and the family. But man, I can't wait for her to come back, and I can't wait for her match with Momo, the singles match. And maybe even it won't have the 20-minute time limit, and they can go more than 20 minutes, because that's what I fucking want in my life.
Yes. Yeah, preach it, King. I'm right there fucking with you, man. It's going to be so fucking good, and Momo's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
All right, number one. Again, I think you guys already know.
Yeah.
It's fucking Konami.
Yup.
Oh my god, I am in love with this woman. Beat the shit out of me, please. Christ.
Step on me.
Yes. And then she can follow Maki Ito. Pay me, bitch.
Yeah.
But again, bringing it back and being serious, like, Konami is just so technically crisp. I love watching her work. I want to see her. I can't tell you how excited I am for that full Stardom show to get up, because Konami and Mayu main evented. And I can't wait to see what they get together in that
dude.
ring.
That's the second one too. Or no, it is the first one. So that'll probably be Wednesday, I'm guessing, when we'll react to that.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. And it's gonna be amazing, because Konami's amazing, and I really am looking forward to seeing what her and Mayu do together. And I want Konami to be Red Belt champion. Yeah. I want her to be Red Belt champion. I think her promos are amazing. I love her energy. You actually articulated it better than I could, so I won't even touch that. But she has such Suzuki vibes to me on that level.
Yes.
And yeah, anything this woman does. And I know you had some ideas about what they may do with Konami, about her like turning on Jungle and maybe joining Oedo Tai and leading
No. See, you misconstrue what I meant. She's not joining shit. She's taking over.
Yes. I hope you're right about that, man. I really do, because I think that could be fucking incredible if that happens. So I am just like, please God, let it happen, because Konami deserves the world. Enough said. Konami deserves the world. So with that said, who's number one for you? Who rounded out your list?
I just want to say before we do move on that there is a real movement and a real hashtag Konami All Points and Konami All Belts.
Yes. Make it fucking happen. So I am really curious who's number one for you.
I want to guess. I want you to tell me who you think it might be.
I mean, my first thought, only because I admittedly forget your honorable mentions, did Kamitani do it?
No.
Okay.
She was in my honorable mentions, though. She was.
Okay. I honestly forgot. Well, I guess, so now tell us, because I don't want to play a whole guessing game. We got a good momentum right now.
You're so close, though, dude, because the other two members of QQ are already in my Fave 5, in Utami and Momo. There's only one left.
Wait, let me go through it. Oh my God!
Yes!
We're both proud parents, but I guess you're a little prouder this time.
Yes! It's Azumi at number one for me.
Go off, man. Go off.
Dude, she, again, though, like, everything that I praised Momo for, I feel like Azumi was a part of, except for the triple threat with Konami and Mayu. But if you just cross that out, throw that aside, she was still a part of the triple threat with Riho and Starlight Kid for the high-speed title, which she won because she's the high-speed champion now, baby. That's what I'm talking about. We've been waiting for it for how long? We've been calling for Azumi to win the high-speed championship literally since, like, within a month of starting to watch this product. It's been that long that we've been begging for it, and only like a month ago did we finally get it.
And she was a standout performer in that fucking DDM versus QQ tag match that went to a fucking draw.
Yeah.
Like, God, she's so
She
good.
was the defensive guru of that match. She was constantly breaking up pins, holding people back, attacking people on the opposing apron. She is the fucking queen right now. Like, we always talk about the true one and only queen in pro wrestling right now is Io Shirai. But if Io is the real queen, Azumi's the fucking princess, because Azumi is absolutely, unbelievably, yes, 100% Io's heir, the one true heir to Io. Momo is great. I love Momo, but she is a temporary queen for the throne. She is keeping it warm until Azumi is of age and can take the fuck over.
Oh, let's see, checking my notes here. Nothing but facts.
Yeah. Azumi is the absolute top, number one, my favorite wrestler, my favorite performer in all of Stardom right now. And I don't want to say it's not even close because I do love Momo and I do love Mayu and Konami and Utami and everyone the fuck else too. Like you said, it's a lot harder to name people that are in your honorable mention than it is to name people that aren't, which you managed to do by only naming 3 women that didn't make your honorable mention. So it's an amazing product, an amazing promotion. But in my mind, the only person that every single time I see them ready to cut a promo, I see them on a graphic, I see them ready to participate in a match, I get a smile on my face and I know that I'm about to get some good shit. It's Azumi.
Yeah. Amen to that, brother. She's so fucking good.
She is.
All right. Now we move on to other promotions. This is where we just do a hodgepodge of everything else we watch.
Which right now is pretty much exclusively AEW and TJPW, I believe.
Yep, and my list definitely reflects that, and I'm guessing yours does as well.
Yeah.
So you go first on honorable mention since I went first last time.
All right, so my honorable mentions, Yuka Sakazaki, the Princess of Princess Champions in TJPW, Lance Archer, Hikari Noah, Yuki Kamifuku, a.k.a. Kamiyu, Luchasaurus, and Rey Fenix.
Okay, honorable mentions. Brody Lee, Private Party, Luchasaurus, Hyper Misao, Sakazaki, Kamiyu, and Hikaru Shida.
Hyper Misao, Sakazaki, you said, right?
Yes.
Kamiyu, and then who else?
Hikaru Shida.
Ah, okay. All right. Damn. Okay.
This other's going to be fun because you did introduce me to TJPW, and even though I didn't really take to it like that strongly, I got enough out of it to make a pretty compelling list, I'd say. Good. So, who's number 5 for you, brother?
Number 5 for me is Mr. Brody Lee.
Awesome. Let's talk about it.
Well, he was your top honorable mention, and he cracked my list at the 5 spot. And really, I think he would have been higher on my list had we been paying more attention to AEW than just the 2 shows that we watched, because he is a great performer. I wanted to go like section by section, but he's everything. Everything that you need to do in order to be a pro wrestler, he's fucking great at it. He's great at everything.
He really is, man. He's very complete that way.
Yeah. So he's got a great look. He's intimidating. He's a great talker, which fuck you, Vince, for never giving him a fucking mic. He's amazing in the ring, like incredible in the ring. Like he can do everything. That typical suicide dive. Like he's exceptional. And we haven't seen a whole lot of him, unfortunately, because the AEW product as a whole just isn't that compelling to us. But what we have seen was enough to get him right on the edge of my list at number 5.
Number 5 for me, this may surprise some people, MJF.
Huh? Dude, it's a little bit surprising to me, but it's more honestly of like a relief to me. Because I feel like more often than not, he's been like number 1 on your other list, and I've just been like not expecting it until it got there. And then it's like, oh, of course, fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I've, enjoy his promos, enjoy his work. I thought he had a great performance against Moxley at All Out. I know I enjoyed the match more than some others, including you, partner. I think he's got a lot of upside still, and I'm still enjoying the ride when I check in on it. So we'll see what happens next with him. But yeah, he just cracked the 5v5. So who's next on your list?
Next on my list is Brian Cage.
Love it. Great pick.
Yeah, really, it's funny because, like, to me, it's like when we first started watching AEW, my favorite part of it was the tag teams. I loved like the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros and Private Party, Best Friends, all doing their crazy shit. I loved it. But I feel like tag team matches in AEW, it's like they knew that that was the best part of their show, so they decided to just make them the focal point, and they started giving them way too much fucking time. And I've completely fallen out of love with AEW's tag division because their matches are just too fucking long. But in come the hosses. Let me tell you about these hosses. We've got Luchasaurus, we've got Lance Archer, we've got Mr. Brody Lee, and we have got Brian Cage. And I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody, but those four are the main ones on my list here that are really, really exciting, that keep me really invested in AEW, that keep me interested, that keep me enjoying the product. Really, those four guys in particular are like my favorite parts of the AEW product, but I could only fit two of them on this list, so I just picked my two favorites. And Mr. Brody Lee was the second favorite, and Brian Cage was the first favorite. So Cage is number one because we kind of got to see a really good little sample of him in the Casino Battle Royale, and it was like, oh, that's right, I fucking love this dude in the ring. He's incredible. He can do everything. He is another Limitless type, like fucking Keith Lee. There's nothing this dude can't do. He's just ridiculous.
Completely agree. I think that was beautifully said. Moving right along, my number 4, Maki Ito. Ito-chan! She's fucking great. Love her promos. Yes. Love her promos. Love her in-ring work because it's the perfect amount of technically sound and character-based. Love her story. She's fucking fantastic. And shame on WWE for not knowing how to book Japanese women, because if they did, they would have offered Maki Ito a contract. And I don't even care what her personal reservations are. I happen to agree with Teddy DiBiase Sr. that everybody has a price. And you would have made her one of the biggest stars in the world. Because she just has that personality. I will never stop thinking about her doing a concert at WrestleMania. I'll never stop thinking about it. She's great. She's utterly fantastic. I'm willing to bet that I'm not the only one that feels that way, but I'll let your list speak for itself. Who's next on your list, bud?
Oh yeah, you won't hear anything about Maki Ito from me for a while. Don't worry about it. But number 3 on my list, though, and this is where the TJPW really does start to shine through. We had a couple big hosses from AEW, and now we move to the complete opposite. These little tiny, charismatic as fuck Japanese girls. Shoko Nakajima is number 3 on my list. And really, I think that I've always kind of liked her, like even from the debut that she had in AEW, where she was teaming with Bea Priestley to take on the team of Riho and Britt Baker. I liked her a lot then. I thought that there was something to her even then. But in the last few months, really getting more into TJPW, like buying the Wrestle Universe subscription, being a financially supportive customer, and being able to watch all of their shows, I have really grown to love Shoko Nakajima. I think that she is, well, there's no thinking about it. I did the thinking ahead of time. She's my 3rd favorite performer in TJPW. Otherwise, she wouldn't be at number 3 on this list. And being able to see her make it to the finals of the Tokyo Princess Cup was really cool. Her matches were all really good. I loved her match in the finals with Mizuki. I thought that her match with Miyu Yamashita was great as well. I think her match to get to the match with Miyu against Natsumi Maki was probably my favorite match of the tournament. Like, Shoko just had an amazing performance in the tournament, and that's really the biggest thing that kind of earned her this spot. So, absolutely love Shoko Nakajima. I think that she is an absolute dynamo of an in-ring performer. She's faster than a lot of the other women you'll see, and I think that she almost has to do that because of the size difference. She's really tiny. She's like 4'8", 4'9". She's a really tiny girl, and she makes up for that lack of size with incredible speed. So very, very excited about where she's going to go in the future. Unfortunately, she didn't win the Tokyo Princess Cup. Mizuki did, but just seeing her get to the finals was really cool to see.
All right, so I want to preface this next entry with just some remarks here.
Okay.
You know, if you shift your perspective, it's actually maybe even more impressive making it on another promotions list than it is making any of our main lists. And I say that because we are a channel that primarily focuses on WWE, New Japan, and Stardom.
Yeah.
So when we check in on you, it's more like you've got one shot.
Yeah.
And
do not miss a chance to blow. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. And pretty much, though, right? Like, you've got one shot, you make it count, and that's a testament to you as a performer. And I don't know if anybody exemplifies this more except maybe my number one. But even then, you know, you've got that history there. And I guess this one does, too. Thunder Rosa is number 3 for me.
Wow, I love it.
Because her match
she made
with
quite the
Hikaru
impression,
Shida,
didn't she?
Yeah, her match with Hikaru Shida last night was fucking incredible, and I will still go on record as saying the best match at All Out. Now, why I gave her the number 3 spot, whereas she'd only got an honorable mention, it's really nothing personal. I love how Rosa has grown. It's unbelievable.
Well, plus we got 2 matches of her in the sample size because she also had the Deeb match on Wednesday, which was good.
That's true. She's just on another level right now, and like I can't believe I haven't been a part of it up until now. Because, you know, I know she's the NWA Women's Champion, and, like, you know, she's also got some TJPW hardware.
Which she beat Maki Ito for.
Yeah. She's amazing. She's amazing. I love her look. I love how she kind of celebrates her roots with the, I guess, like you could say, the Cinco de Mayo face paint, you know, the half skull, half human face thing. Amazing look. Yes. Sweetheart of a person. Yes. Since I know that definitely has to be factored in these days. Yes. And just really solid in-ring work. And I love she's got a swagger about her right now that I'm like, yes, live your best life. So Rosa is just incredible. And you know what? I know that on TWitWoW, especially when she was feuding, you know, the what were they called? Were they just called
Snake Tribe?
Yeah, the Snake Tribe feuding with Worldwide Underground. I know it was like her and me about Johnny Mundo and everything. I adore this woman. So if she's hearing this, not only have you and I never like not been cool, like it's or I should say ever not been cool. We've always been cool, but you have just absolutely been fucking killing it. And I loved her match last night. So, yeah, Thunder Rosa makes number 3 for me. Women's wrestling is untouchable right now. So, who's next on your list?
Yeah, you aren't the only person that she really impressed. I've seen a lot of comments talking about how, you know, she steps in and is immediately, you know, giving Shida her best match. She is, you know, already one of the top 2 or 3 women's wrestlers in AEW's women's division, and she's not even officially signed. Like, I'm seeing so many positive comments about her current run in AEW, despite the fact that she's not even signed. She's still signed with the NWA. Billy Corgan was just cool enough to let her work AEW to try and get some name recognition back for the NWA.
Dude, how she got into that fucking pendulum swing, which I know you were freaking out about. Jesus Christ, dude. Like, woman's on another level. You gotta remember, too, if I remember correctly, Shida had her in a submission. Like, I think it was either like a sleeper or an elevated armbar or something. Shida had her in a submission. She shifted her weight back to get Shida in a pinning position. And when Shida kicked out is when she transitioned over into the fucking bow and arrow, or the surfboard, which she then stood up with into the pendulum and then did the headbutt thing on the bottom turnbuckle. Yeah. Unbelievable, this woman's, like, ability, because, like, it's just, it's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. So, yeah, to give her the number 3 spot, and I know, because, you know, maybe she did deserve to go higher, but I just really had to pay my respect. So who's next on your list? Number 2 on my list is Miyu Yamashita, the Pink Striker from TJPW. You know, there is, I think, a legitimate argument that you could say that she's the ace of TJPW, but Yuka Sakazaki is the Princess Champion, so I think she holds that crown right now. But Miyu is always lingering. She's always there. She's always hanging around in the background, and she's always one match away from winning that title back. She is the most dangerous woman in TJPW. She is the most
woman in TJPW. She is almost like a Matanza type in the way that any of her kicks could be a finisher if she lands it just right. You know what I mean? Like the way with Matanza, any of his slams could have been a finisher because he was a fucking god. With Miyu, any one of her kicks could be a finisher because she is that adept with her kicking and her fucking educated feet, as old JR would have said. And she is really the only woman in TJPW that puts any effort whatsoever into being a badass, and she succeeds at it wildly.
I'm just gonna piggyback off this. You and I have the exact same number 2. I had Miyu as well.
Oh my god! I didn't know you connected with her that much, dude. That's fucking awesome.
Dude, she fucking kills people. Like, it's probably my straightest delivery of a line like that, but yeah.
Her reverse roundhouse kick is fucking incredible.
My insides wince for the victims when that shit happens.
Yeah.
It is really a shame. Like, I can't lie. I didn't foster a connection, but we'll still be covering TJPW. Me and Ashton talked about it. Their big shows, we'll still be covering them on the channel, so I'm not done with TJPW.
Yeah, they only really do 3 or 4 a year, kind of like AEW. But the difference is I think we're going to really enjoy them.
Yeah. But Miyu, man, God, she's a killer. She's a killer, and it's so fucking fun to watch. Like, I'm going to be honest, I wish we lived in a world where people weren't so hung up about intergender matches. And by the way, if Lance is telling the truth, which I have no reason to think the man's lying, he said he's had a lot of women come up and express discomfort about intergender matches because the men are kind of skeevy. So I also wish we lived in a post-patriarchal, post-misogynistic world. Yeah. So like a perfect storm, so that we could do all the intergender wrestling without the guilt, because I want Miyu versus Alistair. And I want to see who can kick the head off first. Like,
I want Miyu versus Shooty.
Yeah, and Miyu versus Momo. I want Miyu versus the world. Like,
the really unfortunate thing about that, though, is that I told you about this Assemble thing that they're doing with all the Joshi promotions. Well, TJPW is not a part of it, unfortunately.
That's really a fucking shame.
Yeah.
Because, to me, dude, and again, I'm just being honest, as I'm going to be the purest casual fan, given that I'll only be watching this when we give it coverage, she's the diamond in the rough for them. Like, I connected with her, and I'm like, these matches are next fucking level. Like, you put the title on her, which I know they did. Didn't it? Like, she had a monster fucking run with their world title, right?
Yeah. Yeah. She, I believe to this day, is the longest reigning Princess champion ever.
That makes all the fucking sense in the world to me. Because I'm sorry, like, I'm just being honest again from a casual fan's perspective. A lot of those women are good. Again, women's wrestling is like another level right now. But then Miyu enters the frame. And it's like, you're all telling on yourselves. Because, like, I'm the god that all of you mortals, like, want to reach that level of. I'm living alone on Olympus, to me. And, yeah, she's a fucking dynamo. It's really something to watch her. If you could transplant her to Stardom, oh my fucking god, I would have given, dude, I would have sold my kidney on the black fucking market to get Arisa versus Miyu. Because that would have killed.
Dude, I wanted it so bad.
That would have fucking killed. That would have been match of the year.
Like, dude, they could have done a fucking shoot boxing match instead of a wrestling match. It would have been fucking incredible.
Yeah, that would have been match of the year. Yes. I can honestly say that. You would have given it like 25 minutes and maybe even had a title at stake if Arisa was still Wonder Stardom champion. Yeah, match of the year. Sorry, everyone else. Take a number. But yeah, just so
I just did a little bit of math, by the way. Miyu has had 2 reigns with the Princess of Princess Championship. She was the first ever Princess of Princess champion, which she held it for 262 days. And then she was also the 5th reign, where that was the long one. That was the 484-day run. And even including Yuka Sakazaki's current run, which is 309 days, Miyu has been the Princess of Princess champion for 43.68% of that championship's existence.
Jesus Christ.
You want to tell me she's not the face of the goddamn company? I dare ya.
Yeah. So I just want to tell you that my time being subscribed to DDD Pro and watching DDPW was well spent because I got Miyu out of it. Before you get to your number one, I did tell you there was something I had to do, so can you just hold on just a quick bit?
Absolutely, yeah. In the meantime, I guess I can kind of chat with chat. Javaris said that he wants Miyu versus Shingo. Now you got me thinking about who I want to see Miyu face in New Japan, because they do actually do intergender wrestling in DDT, and I think Miyu has already been in a match against Kenny Omega before, but I think it was a tag, like a mixed tag, where it was like Miyu and somebody versus Kenny and probably Riho, if I had to guess. I'm gonna have to look that up, actually. Miyu, I already had our cage match pulled up earlier to pull up the Princess of Princess Championship. Let me look up Omega to see. Oh yeah, here it is. It was Kenny Omega and Riho versus Antonio Honda and Miyu Yamashita. So there already exists footage of Miyu Yamashita versus Kenny Omega in a wrestling match. And it's from November, actually. It's relatively recent. It's only, 10 months ago at this point. So, welcome back, John.
Welcome back to me. Yes. Who is number one on your other list?
Number one on my other list is the cutest in the world, Maki Ito.
I fucking knew it. Yep, go off.
Yeah, I mean, it's so rare, and I think that's what makes her so special. It's so rare that you come across an act in a smaller wrestling company that makes this smaller wrestling company feel bigger than it is. And Maki Ito, to me, is exactly that. Maki Ito makes this tiny little TJPW show, this tiny little venue, feel like a bigger deal than it really is, because she comes out, she sings her entrance theme, she has this larger than life personality, she knows exactly who she is, and she plays that character to an absolute T perfectly, because it's her with the volume turned up, which of course we all know that's the best way to be a wrestling character. And her in-ring is like, people always say, oh, she's getting better, she's getting better, she's getting better. Nobody ever is willing to just say she's fucking good, but she is. She is a good goddamn wrestler. She has a cleaner cloverleaf than 99% of wrestlers I've ever seen do a cloverleaf, which, it's a fucking submission, and you want to pretend like she's not technically sound. Fuck off. Like, I have seen her be a part of botches before, and more often than not, it's the fault of her opponent, because she's trying to do some sort of ambitious shit, and her opponent doesn't know how to take it, because it's not something that they do very often in TJPW, because TJPW isn't an overly ambitious promotion, and I don't necessarily find them at fault for that. But Maki Ito is a peacock. You gotta let her fly, all right?
Beautifully said. I mean, let me just say this to add my 2 cents to you kind of taking other people to task. I would take the opinion of Meiko Satomura over everyone, and
yes.
She's a fan of Maki Ito.
Yes.
So, yeah, put some respect on both of their names.
Yeah, but have you seen Maki Ito's reaction to being told that Meiko likes her?
That she cried and was like really touched by it, because like, wow, validation from somebody I actually respect and whose opinion, might I add, as a fucking legend, is actually worth a shit. Yeah, I have that reaction too.
That's the thing about Maki Ito, man, is like, she really is a character and a gimmick that would not have worked 10 years ago, would not have worked any time prior to the last like 5 years, because we are only just recently really beginning to enter an age of emotional health awareness, and Maki Ito embodies that shit, because she sees herself as a failure, and all that she has to really pride herself in is that she lives every fucking day as herself, and she continues to get up on her feet and go through life. Like, that's fucking devastating, but that's her character. Her character is, I'm a failure. I get beat up a lot. I'm in a lot of pain all the time, but do you know what makes me tougher than anyone else? Is that I put up with all that shit and I keep moving forward. That is the 2020 at its finest, goddammit.
Yeah. You know, with most people you say they're ahead of her time, Maki Ito embodies her time.
Yes!
I think she does it so well.
Yes! She literally, Maki Ito is the voice of a fucking generation, and I never have said that before without exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah. Amazing. I love it. I love how much you love Maki Ito. And believe me, like, I love her too, which is why she made my list. But then we get to my number one.
Yes.
I don't know how surprised you guys are going to be about this, but it just felt right to me when I put this down. Number one, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, Fear the Revelation. Watching them last night, wow. It's really something, you know? It's really something being an American wrestling fan, and I'm sure you could maybe even say the same thing if you were Japanese or just any part of the world where there's wrestling, where tag team wrestling is really treated as a joke. Like, I immediately think about, right, NXT. Now, let me just get something out of the way. All the respect on the names of Tyler Breeze and Fandango. Those guys have the story. Those guys grinded. You know, everything. But let's be real. I mean, they're the best part of an age that's so far removed from War Raiders, you know, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, because they haven't regained the gold. Fucking, who are some other teams? Hell, fucking Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly, who I actually prefer to O'Reilly and Fish. That tag team golden age, that an American Alpha, when they were around as the Revival. I was a fan of the Vaudevillains. I get that they're not everybody's cup of tea. Like, there was a time when NXT actually, I mean DIY, for fuck's sake, actually gave a shit about tag team wrestling. The division sucks now. Like, I love Breeze and Fandango. It's not doing, and they're doing it for me. The division they're surrounded by isn't doing it for me. So to see these guys go and have a tag match that I even remarked, it made me want to go back, which I admittedly haven't done. Maybe I will with my food when we get done here. Watch some Revival American Alpha matches. Because, like, everybody says about American Alpha, and especially Chad Gable, like, we had so much fun wrestling American Alpha, we'd lose track of time.
Yeah.
And Revival was definitely, like, one of those teams. These guys are so inspired about an art that literally nobody else seems to give a shit about. And I love that. Because what you see in that is they do everything right. I love how they do sneaky tags. I love how they cut the ring in half. I love that they always have their hand on the fucking tag rope, and they really make, like, a deal about it. Like, oh, hey, it's legal. I love how they double team. I love their psychology. I love when they're with people that don't shit on their ring psychology, Kenneth. Fuck Kenny Omega right now. Man, this Five Fave Five is really going to be known as the one where John had his claws out, because I've praised a lot of people, but when I come for people, holy fuck. Fuck Kenny Omega. Fear the Revelation. Yeah, they are a fucking revelation to what tag team wrestling can be if you fucking smarten people up. Because you know what? Again, maybe I'm getting really old. I joked in the Discord, which you can all get into for $3 a month on the Patreon, that I'm 28, but I've got the heart of a 70-year-old because I eat fucking like Fiber One for breakfast, right? On some real shit. So maybe I'm getting a little too crotchety for this business, but I get what they mean when you've got the tag matches where everybody's doing all the crazy shit and there's no order. What makes the Revelation so fucking compelling is that they follow the rules. Like, they'll cheat, but I'm talking about the rules of tag team wrestling. They follow them and they know them, and I love watching them school fucking people on Twitter. Well, actually, it's like this. Well, actually, Mark, as somebody that's wrestled the style for so many years, here's how it works, okay? But have fun jerking off to whatever you're jerking off to there, and thinking you know more than I do. They're so good. And watching them last night, when I tell you it fucking sent me, and I was just shaking my head and thinking, WWE, I get the tag team wrestling isn't your bread and butter, but even so, you really couldn't do better with it. Fucking Uzi Hot? Really?
Oh.
Really? When you have these fucking guys, that's what you fucking do? And you know what? I may not care for AEW, but if these guys are happy, if they're getting paid, and they get to run with fucking Tully Blanchard, and they get to live out their Brainbusters fantasy, and you know what? Normally, I'll be honest, I'm an asshole. I own it. I laugh at people that are like, oh, you know, I love these old school gimmicks and I want to live that old school gimmick. But you know what? It's okay when you do it fucking well. And they do it fucking well. And I was making the 5x5 list literally today. And you know what I was thinking? I'm like, MJF's kind of fallen off for me because, it's whatever, and I don't watch him a lot. And the match was good, but it didn't make me, whatever. And Me was awesome and a killer, but I didn't connect to TJPW. And I came to those guys, and it just felt right. Because, my God, again, in an art that literally no other company seems to give a fuck about. New Japan has a decent tag division, but, it's whatever. And I would love to see the revelation in New Japan one of these days. These guys just, they make you care about it. They make you respect it. Respect it to the point where you get angry at other people for not respecting it, for all the pot shots I've taken at Omega just these last few minutes. They're in another league. They're absolutely in another league, and I'm really happy that they're number one on my other list because I really feel like no other act that we watched in this window really earned that spot. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
No, dude, that's perfect for you. It really is. You did surprise me for sure, but yeah, it really is like the way you laid it out, and even just the way you described, just like putting it down and it feeling right. That makes so much sense for you.
I'm really curious who your number one is, though. Or wait, didn't you already give it with Maki Ito, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got my wires because I apologize. That makes all the sense. Your number one makes all the sense in the world to me because you have been standing Maki Ito hard. And I think because
it really is over this particular grading period that I've started really going to bat for her because it was the two podcasts. The one, Joshi Pod interviewing her, and then the WrestleSplania episode that's actually, I think, from like last year, talking about her character and her growth and her career and stuff. Like, just listening to those two really lit the fires of passion under my ass as far as my fandom for her. And then being able to kind of see her work over the last few months, in the fucking dojo shows and empty arena shows, and more recently in the Tokyo Princess Cup, she has really, really won me over. And you'll see just how much she's won me over with this next list, our master lists, our universal top 10. Who are your 10 favorite wrestlers in the world, regardless of promotion lists? John, I believe you get to go first for this since you were last on the last list.
Well, I'm honored. This is going to surprise some people.
And the thing is, we don't even need to list honorable mentions because you can just assume that the 15 wrestlers that we listed in our Five Fave Fives that aren't on this top 10 are our honorable mentions for the top 10.
Exactly. So I just want to be reminded, do I just go through all 10 or do we go back?
No, we go back and forth. You do 10, then I do 10, then you do 9, then I do 9, etc.
I'm going to shock the system right away and know that's not a pun. Number 10 for me is John Morrison.
Wow, okay. Well, we knew he wasn't going to be super high. The highest he could have possibly been was 5 since he was 5 on your WWE list.
Yeah. Who's number 10 for
Number
you?
10 for me, Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Love it. Number 9 for me is Kenta.
Oh, nice! I'm following your pattern, though, because we both went from WWE to New Japan. Sho is my number 9.
My number 8 is Shuri.
And we're continuing the pattern because my next number 8 for me is also a Japanese woman, Asuka.
Number 7 for me, Santos Escobar. Oh,
almost continuing the pattern because they both start with Sa, because my number 7 is Sasha Banks.
Oh my. Number 6 for me is Fear the Revelation.
I mean, you can fear them, but I fear Minoru Suzuki, who is my number 6.
Number 5, I just checked my watch and it's Roman Reigns time.
Oh shit, nice. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I don't have a pun, but my number 5 is Azumi.
Number 4 is Ishii.
Nice. I love it. That's awesome. He was your number 1 in New Japan. Just like this next woman is my number 1 in WWE, that being Bayley.
My number 3 is Bayley.
Nice! You have her 1 higher than me. My number 3 is going to the moon! It's Cameron Grimes, baby!
My number 2 is Konami.
I love it. My number 2, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Is Io Shirai.
Oh, why? Oh, no fucking way.
Oh, way, my friend. Oh, fucking way.
Well, I'll just say to finish myself off, I gave him a little bit more rocket fuel than you did.
I knew it.
Just to make the trip, because number 1 is Cameron Grimes.
Because who needs to go to the Earth's moon when you can go fucking Titan on Jupiter, baby, to the other moon?
Yeah, I fucking love him so much. But, dude, I need to hear you say it. Say it. Say
My
it.
number one is Maki Ito.
Holy fucking shit.
Yep, it's a thing.
Love it.
It's a real thing.
I love it. I love that I put this list together in maybe like an hour. But like, this is still my favorite thing that we do. This was amazing. I can't believe I just saw Io dethroned in top 10.
I know. It surprised me too. It really did.
And dude, like, Jomo not only got dethroned, he like held on to the fucking edge. Cause like he was number 10 because he's just really not doing anything interesting. So like everybody, I just feel like he's doing more interesting things than him. This was great. I love this. I fucking love this so much. So yeah, and you know I love it because Ash and I were hashing out the schedule. Sunday is usually our off day. I agreed to come on here like to do this just because I really do find this to be a lot of fun. So yeah, that's it. That's 5 Fave 5. God damn. We're really good at this. So I'm guessing actually because like you said, that Stardom show, that September 5th show probably won't be finished. The earliest we'll probably cover it is Wednesday.
Well, so, I would say the earliest, if we get lucky and they really kick their own asses and get into overtime, is Tuesday, but more likely is Wednesday.
Right. So, obviously, it could change depending on when September 5th, like, you know, gets fully uploaded. But the most immediate thing, right, Ashton, will be NXT on Tuesday.
Tuesday, yes.
Which actually works out really well because we already decided we're not covering Dynamite, so we'll do NXT Tuesday, and then if Stardom works out, yeah, Wednesday. That'll just be an open thing.
And then also hopefully Thursday. I don't know how fast they're going to be at uploading, but we might get back-to-back Stardom days.
That would be really nice. Not as nice as your face though.
So thanks, bud.
So we'll see. You're adorable. We'll see you guys Tuesday at 8 for NXT. Headline to me at least, for one I'm mentally thinking about. By, both Cole and Finn for the NXT Championship, because I can't forget about that. But what I was actually going to say was Mercedes and Rhea in the steel cage. Yeah, should be good shit, guys. So we'll see you Tuesday at 8. Be sure to like the video, subscribe.
And also, notice how Rhea didn't make either one of our lists. Thanks, Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte fucking ruined her, bro. She fucking ruined her. Click the bell icon, subscribe, so that you never again miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. And we'll see you Tuesday at 8. And I already mentioned joining the Discord, which I am starting to actively get involved in again, and it feels really good. I hope it lasts. I think I found a good little rhythm with it. Yeah, I know. It always touches me how much you guys miss me in there on some real shit. But yeah, it's a great community, guys. I mean, Ashton's wonderful there. We got wonderful people that we call out, like Abel and Jackie, and I think Javaris is still in there.
No, he's not.
He's not.
I mean, we would love to have you back, Javaris, but I think
we would.
A financial thing on his end, so.
Well, Javaris, I understand that, and that always comes first. I hope one day you're able to join us, man, because we love you so much, man, and just, want you to know that. So, yeah, just a lot of great people, guys. It's a great
Right now, though, Abel and Alex Foster are both active in there.
Oh my God! The two people that I want to hug the most and love them so much, it merges them into one magnificent being.
Why would you want to get rid of their individual identities?
I understand that. I definitely understand that. It's just like, it's the closest we could, and then if we get Johnny Mundo in there, we've approximated God. So, like, I don't know. I just want to see it. I'm on some Full Metal Alchemist shit, except not as dark, hopefully.
Let's keep our limbs, please.
God, that meme is always hilarious. I know a lot of people cry. I laugh. God, I have problems. But that's not about me, thankfully. So, join the Discord. Join us for NXT at 8. I love that we do these. This is still my favorite commentary that we do, especially, and again, like I said at the start, I'll complete the circle. What a palate cleanser after All Out, which I wish I could do a play on words with, but I'm not talented. So, yeah, that was great. And I'm going to hand it over to Ashton to just formally take us home. Get us out of here, bud.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you all enjoyed our 5 Fave Fives. We will be back after Survivor Series in November with our next one. I think that the actual date that I have written down is November 26th. Yeah, November 26th is when our next Fave 5 should be. So, about 2 months and a few weeks, a little closer to 2.5, 3 months We will be back here with another Fave 5, but we've still got so much to do before then. We do have NXT Tuesday, we do have New Japan Strong on Friday, and we do have a WWE catch-up commentary on Saturday. Plus, of course, we will have 2 Stardom shows to live react to this week. Assuming it's going to be on Wednesday and Thursday. It could be Wednesday and Friday. It could be Tuesday and Thursday, but I'm guessing it'll be one of those 3 patterns. We will see you for those, hopefully, as well. If you enjoyed our 5 Fave Fives, be sure to like the video. If you would like to let everyone else know what your 5 Fave Fives might be, feel free to post a comment if you have enough characters. I don't know. There might be a character limit. I don't even know how that works. But yeah, feel free, take advantage of the comment section down below. Like the video, like I said, subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Twitch, subscribe on Twitch, buy our merch on Teespring, donate to our Patreon, and share this channel and this video with all your wrestling fan friends and let them in on the best kept secret in the YouTube and Twitch wrestling communities. That's right, we are TWitWoW, and we are the workhorses of the Y and T WCs. And we will hope to see you this coming week, whether it is for NXT, Stardom, New Japan, or our catch-up commentary. But no matter what it is, all that we really ask for you all to do is remember to stay tuned.